Left Brigade report. What's going on, everybody? Oh shit. Okay. That looks kind of nice. What y'all think? This one? This one? I think the letters are too small. That's my one right there. Well, this one. This one right here. Like, hey, once you get down hauling what you need to haul, just come on down and get woke. Okay? It's cute, Poppy. Thank you, Mama. I think I like this one. This one I think is I think the letters are too small. I gotta I don't know, the kerneling. What is it called? I'm saying the bulwark is at least 50% gay. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something, Bone Factory. It takes a whole lot more than being gay, being anti-Trump, being black, Hispanic, whatever the fuck, to get me on board. Okay. No, I feel you. Like I did. So the bulwark are. I say this a lot though. I always tell people that I feel like a lot of times centrists and the like moderate leaning types and all that they kind of sometimes piss me off the most because they try to do this whole like, what if they paid you? Well, I would say, you say you like the white one, you like the green one better? What do you mean, like on me or as a hat? Huh? Huh? This right here is what they call the dad hat. So if I wear it like this, you call me Brett. Hey, how you doing, Brett? You do? You like this one too? Okay, shit. That's two. Well, looks like the ladies like the white hat. Not Brett. You got a notification on time? Yeah. Yeah. I was actually surprised Bone Factory inside the Discord was talking about how he was gonna get how he got a notification. So I was happy to hear that. Are you guys hearing double at all? Because I feel like you should be. Gotta change something. Gotta take this bad boy off. Boom. No? Well. Okay. But I should sound even better now, or is it like no change? All right. Yeah. So if you like this hat, make Israel Palestine again. If you like your Stay Woke trucker hat, head on down to leftface.tv where you can find any hat or shirt you want today for the low price of whatever it says on there. Um, I'm not really sure how long I'm going to stick with the country accent. We'll see. We'll see how long the bit goes for. I hope everybody is doing well on this beautiful Monday night. Um, y'all could thank who was I forget. Oh, you such a bad memory. Um, that's right, Jon Stewart. Y'all could thank Jon Stewart. He's like, yeah. Don't worry, you could let us know tonight when you stream. And I'm like, he's right. He's right. Oh shit. Pick up that Savannah accent eventually. Yeah. Savannah. Savannah. It's like molasses dripping off the tongue. If anybody here watches The Office, you would get that. I already broke character. You're right. I was trained in debate. They told us we had to study the enemy to win the war. Let me tell you all something. So obviously by the thumbnail, you all know what we are going to talk about today. Right? It's probably going to take up the bulk, if not the entire stream. And as a matter of fact, I will say, and I probably have to say this again later, if you're on YouTube and it shuts off or something, just come on down to the Twitch side because Twitch did not like me. Not Twitch. YouTube, the Jubilee didn't like me streaming it. So we'll see what happens. I don't really care. Fuck. And Midnight Monarchy, I've been able to catch streaming months. Hope you, Man Eater, and a whole family chat are having a good evening. It's 11 a.m. in Tokyo. And have to head into another meeting. Keep kicking ass for all the other vets out there. I appreciate you, Midnight Monarchy, and have fun out there in the land of the rising sun. I need a name for Southern Robo. Ooh, that's a good one. That's a good one. Let's see. What is this guy's name here? Let's make up a character. Hey, let's go, brother. Hey, all I know is you need to sit right there and watch this stream, because today we're going to be talking about Mehdi Hasan. Well, yeah, he's a good one. F-35, Dark Skeeter. Fighter jets. Hey, it's your brother Dark Skeeter here, and today we're going to get woke. Midnight Market gifting us up to DSB. Appreciate you. Ooh, some more gifties. You can't see it. You can't. Appreciate you, Midnight Monarchy. You're the man. Dark Skeeter. No, it's not too much. It's, you know what? It's just enough. Brobo. F-35. It's Dark Skeeter or Brobo, whatever you want to call me. But today, we're going to see just how much Mehdi Hasan wants to lose his mind. There is a conversation to be had about this type of platform. Like, are we doing a good job platforming Nazis, right? Now, there's two ways you can look at this. You can say, well, them folk over yonder, they will say, maybe they never heard of this stuff before. Maybe they hear Mehdi Hasan for the first goddamn time, and now they're going to get it. What about all those damn Nazis that now get a bunch of FaceTime that nobody would ever heard of them before today? These people are out there grifting to get their face out there, and Jubilee is letting them. Dark Cletus. How about that? How about we meet somewhere in the middle and go Dark Cletus? Or Brownie Bob. You can call me Brownie Bob. Oh, man. Please not that. How's everybody been doing though? We'll start off like that before we go into what. Here's a better question, right? How's everybody been doing? And you guys type good. I'm doing great, right? Here's what I want in the chat. Shit is fucking. You can call me. I'm giving you the brownie pass. Brownie Bob here. Brownie Bob or Dark Cletus. That's Here's what I really want to know. Here's what I really want to know inside the chat. I will say, we know that times are shit right now, right? Times are complete doo-doo water. And I want to know how you guys are keeping sane. Because we're all doing shit, right? How are you doing? Not good. What do you think? It's going to be not good for quite a while. What are you guys doing to keep sane? Like, I know Maneater's writing. I'm trying to like edit more. I just transferred from Adobe Premiere to Resolve, and I'm getting back on that, deal, and started playing a game that Elite actually suggested on one of the indie recommendations on Nerds of Culture, Alters. Really fucking good game. Low key like Dark Skeeter. All right, bet. That's the win. Whoever said Dark Skeeter better been black or brown. I'm sketching and swimming more. Okay. The art bug. The art bug has been getting some people. I do feel bad. I bought a whole thing of art supplies and pencils. I got some sketchboards. I bought this little book here. It's like this Japanese book, the character drawing secrets, so I can start practicing like drawing bodies and stuff. And I was good. I was in it for about a good couple of weeks, and then I fell off, and I got to get back in it. That's what I got to do. Um, sorry, man, neither. I'm an untoasted. Ooh, he said the C word with the hard ER. My friend, this is Twitch. And you can't talk like this over here on the Twitch side. And so we got art, sketching, swimming more. I've been reading books and keeping the news to a minimum of a few minutes a day. And Left Face Discord keeping me informed. You know what? That's smart. That's smart. And I like that. I like that. It's like, hey, look, I got people I trust. I'll figure out stuff. You don't need to have yourself completely inundated with the world news all the time, because that's probably not really good for anybody. Screwface Capone, cleaning my new apartment. Congratulations. And finally unpacking. I feel you. That book is awesome. I use that character secret. Oh, the one I have. Yeah, dope. Okay. Bet. Best advice is to go to the squares and do life drawing sketches. Bet. To be real though, I started doing burlesque. Inbred neck farm. Oh, really? What's going on? I haven't seen, so I had to figure out, is this a joke? And then it is not. Are you still doing the podcast? Any more podcasting? Been spending time with friends and family, working on a pitch for my comic series, and making every day with GB, my fiance, count. Everybody say, oh. I need a button for oh. All right. Today we're gonna make a list. That's gonna be my background side quest for today. Let me get a pen here. The side quest for today is we're gonna step up our game, and I'm trying to grow up to be like Ernie, right? Trying to grow up to be like Ernie the Blur Without Fear. We need some sound bites, right? So the first one already is all. We need an all. That's good. I'm gonna get back on art for sure. I podcast on Wednesday and Fridays with some friends. That's what's up. Go ahead, pitch it out there. Do a shameless plug. What's it called? Where can people find you? I'm not on Twitch. Tell Midnight I said hi. Midnight. Anita says hi over from the YouTube side. Another thing, bring back the gaming podcast. There's a ton of shit to talk about. Ooh, that's a good one. You're saying that's what you're gonna do, or you're saying that's what we should do? Maybe I have a yeah, because Ernie doesn't really like talking about. It's not that he doesn't like to. It's that the channel is comic books, right? So every time, if there's something he puts like a thumbnail, or if he puts in the title or a thumbnail, anything comic book related, I'm sorry, video game related, YouTube's gonna home. YouTube is gonna hold him down. Like he's not going to. It punishes him. So it needs. It definitely needs to be comic book related. So, yeah, I want to talk about video games more, but it is what it is. I was referred to a gaming podcast I used to do. So you need to bring it back. Nice. That's what's up. Mindful Wellness on Twitters on Wednesdays, and Sons of Trier on Twitch on Fridays. Very nice. So there you go. Go check out Inbred Neck Farm Tech. It used to be Redneck Farm Tech, but I guess now they're Inbred. Brand name. Sometimes you gotta check. You gotta check it up. Keep it fresh. Make another channel will follow. That's what I'm talking about. That's family right there. NB. You got me. Oh, shit. Oh, man. I knew that. You fucking knew that. I'm gonna die. Holy shit. Oh my God. That's fucking funny as fuck. Holy shit. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Did you? I thought you were trying to be funny with inbred neck. I was like, inbred neck? Inbred? Inbred neck? Okay. Oh my God. Whew. NB Redneck Farm Tech. They, them. Okay? They, them. Oh man, that's a good one. That's a way to start. I'm awake now. I'm awake. Holy shit. Yeah, go check them out. Because they're, not inbred. I guess they're redneck now. What's going on, CE Rouse? Oh man, what a day. What a day. That's good. That's good. All right, check this out. We're gonna jump into democracy now. And then we're gonna roll right into actually we gotta talk about something else. Matter of fact, we'll just do that right now before democracy now. I'm sure if you all haven't heard the news by now, Malcolm Jamal Warner has passed away. He was on vacation with his family and apparently he drowned. So CNN did a little 10-minute remembering actor Malcolm Jamal Warner that I did want to put out there. Let's check this out.
Breaking news and, well, sad news. The passing of actor Malcolm Jamal Warner, best known and beloved for his groundbreaking role as Theo Huxtable on the groundbreaking Cosby Show. A source close to the actor tells CNN he died in a drowning accident while vacationing with his family in Costa Rica.
Yeah, and we just got confirmation from authorities there that the drowning happened yesterday. The acclaimed actor, musician, inspirational speaker, and cultural force was just 54 years old. Joining us now with more details is CNN entertainment correspondent Elizabeth Wagmeister, along with CNN entertainment reporter Lisa France. Elizabeth, what else are you learning here?
So I just got off the phone with a source in the last hour who sadly did confirm this tragic news that Malcolm Jamal Warner was on a family vacation with his wife and daughter when he suffered this fatal drowning accident, obviously coming as such a shock to his family, to his fans around the world. I mean, this is a true accident. And his family, I hear, is just besides themselves, as you can understand. Now, I do want to note that this was not just a TV icon who had such profound impact on American television and American culture, but he was working up until his death at the young age of 54 years old. Many child stars have a tough time when they are on an iconic role. They can be typecast, but he continued working repeatedly throughout the years. And I have to tell you, everybody who worked with him loved him. He had
Hey, find me a link. DSB, can you try to find me a link? See if there's that skit on YouTube somewhere.
A stellar reputation. I was talking with someone who worked very closely with him who is crying and just cannot believe that this has happened. So he had a wonderful reputation on and off the screen, and I had the chance to meet him when he was on the show The People versus O.J. Simpson, and he was just such a lovely man. So this is just tragic news that will absolutely impact
Bill
so
Cosby
many
made a statement on it.
know him, and those
part of me
who felt
says
like
fuck
they know
him. I don't give a fuck what they say. Another part is
Costa
you
Rican
knew him pretty well,
authorities are
so I kind of want
saying
to
his
hear what he had to
drowning
say.
death took place at Playa Grande, which is a popular beach there. I just happened to have been there with my family a couple weeks ago, the very same beach, and it's got surf, like a lot of beaches do, and sometimes surf can be unpredictable, and it sounds like he got caught in this surf and dragged out. People on the beach tried to help him, and unfortunately he passed away. Lisa, the cultural significance of the Cosby Show at a time in the late 80s and early 90s when a big portion of this country would sit down and watch the same show on the same night, which is something that just doesn't happen anymore, just tiny little fractions of the population, but particularly for as we were speaking in the last hour to Bomani Jones and others about how impactful it was to have this Cosby family represented in the way it was. Successful, middle-class family, just what a cultural touchstone it was, and Warner's involvement in that was central.
Absolutely. And Jim, Malcolm Jamal Warner was family. He was absolutely family, and the black community is grieving, just like they did with Chadwick Boseman and Kobe Bryant, because when you have a black celebrity, especially a black man, who is representing the black community, you know, representation really does matter. We say that, but it's so very true. And when it came to Malcolm Jamal Warner, he was like our brother. He was like our cousin. You know, I have a funny story in that back in 2017, I interviewed him, and he was talking about being a brand new dad. His daughter was.
That's something that I always that I respect a lot. You know, because you see a lot of people that grow up and when they blow up and they have that level of fame, they kind of lose who they are, right? FD Signifier did a video on, you know, black conservatism and how he talks about Bill Cosby, and Bill Cosby was definitely, you know, Bill Cosby was on his bullshit way before like the rape shit, right? I like when I see people that are of color, whether black, brown, or whatever, you know, they don't feel like they need to like adjust themselves or lose their culture or be anything besides who they are. And that way they can actually be a good role model for people, you know, especially young people that look like them, that they can have somebody to see, you know. And Malcolm Jamal Warner's that. Like he's clearly a black man. He's unapologetically black, but is also a good person and a family man, and basically, you know, just everything that you know, white supremacist media will tell you is not common in the black community, right? And then you know, here's somebody's like, bitch, that's me, you know, and we're not uncommon, you know, shit like that. And that's sad. That's fucking somebody who has that kind of impact to leave so early. It sucks.
4 months old at the time, and he was so excited about that. He also made me promise not to call him Theo. He said as much as he loved the role, you know, his name was Malcolm. And a year later, I was supposed to interview him and do a set visit on the set of The Resident, which was another show that he was beloved for. And I got sick. I caught the flu, and I posted about not being able to see him and not being able to go to see Childish Gambino. I had tickets with friends, and he came in my comments on social media, and he said that, you know, basically he was sorry that I was sick, but could he get those Childish Gambino tickets? And that was Malcolm Jamal Warner. He was just like funny. And then his co-star came in and co-signed and said, yeah, we're down for that 100%. Like, can we get your tickets? And I mean, that was the thing. Like, we felt like
maybe one day we'll get memberships over on the YouTube side. I gotta get monetized though. As a human
being, as a person, as a man who loved music.
Apparently, you have to post videos and stuff to get monetized. I don't know what this scam they have going over there.
What he meant, Jim, to the black community, playing that role, being able to see an affluent black family on TV. It was the first time. It was groundbreaking, and it still hits you in the gut when you watch it, how important and vital the Cosby Show was. And this is, I can't state enough what a huge loss this is. This literally feels like we have lost a family member.
Damn, Eddie Griffin's MAGA?
It certainly does. And stand by for us, if you would, Lisa and Elizabeth, as we bring in Van Jones, CNN host and founder of DreamMachine.org. He's on the phone with us. Van, how are you reflecting on this?
Reporting live from Hyper Club House in Atlanta for Comedy Hype News.
Well, I mean, it's just devastating. I mean, to the extent that, you know, the Huxtables were, you know, everybody's family. I mean, Bill Cosby in those days, Huxtable, you know, Mr. Huxtable was everybody's dad, and that made, you know, Theo everybody's little brother. And it really was the first time.
Yeah, it was a drowning accident. It was drowning, and he got caught in a riptide in Costa Rica.
That you saw black affluence on television. There have been other shows with black people. You know, Sanford and Son was important, but you know, he was a junk dealer, and he lived in, you know, in a junkyard. You know, it was, you just didn't see it. You know, the Jeffersons were important, but you know, they had just made it and they lived in some kind of skyrise, but it wasn't a family. They were grown up. Suddenly, here's a family with a mom and a dad, and they're both professionals, and the kids are relatable, but you know, they're expected to go to college.
Between the lines.
These are things that were completely revolutionary, And that show had a Super Bowl sized audience
Oh shit,
every night.
yeah.
It's hard for people to understand. 20, 30, plus million people watching
Holy
every
shit.
single night.
I forgot about
I
that
mean, every
show.
single week, night that it came on. It was mandatory television for America, and it changed people's perception. I don't think you got Barack and Michelle Obama without the Huxtables. And so Theo, in particular, for me, as a young black guy, he's the first guy that I saw on TV who I could relate to. I had two professional parents. They didn't let me get away with much, and and he was a role model, and he
Sometimes I
was
forget
very, very
names,
important.
like
And
the
then
titles and
also,
stuff, until I see
he
like
didn't just stop
posters, and I'm like,
with the
oh
Huxtables,
shit,
and
I
he
do
went on,
remember that show.
to do other shows,
That's
to do
wild.
other things. But that was the iconic role, and it was groundbreaking, and it gave me something to shoot for, something to aim for. It gave me something to model myself after. I've talked to people, cast members today, off the record, who are just devastated, just literally devastated. It's so unexpected. It's so unfair. But I'm going to tell you right now, everybody of my age, people 40s, 50s, early 60s, this is a family member that's been lost for all of us, and especially for people in the African American community.
The show went off the air 33 years ago, I think, 1992. Since then, he has continued his career. He won a Grammy for R&B performance. He had a show opposite Eddie Griffin, Malcolm and Eddie, and more recently a podcast. And I just want to quote Van to you, him on the podcast just last year, speaking about some of the cultural issues that you were just describing and his place in them. He said, when we talk about the black community, we tend to speak of it as a monolith, when the reality is there are so many different facets of the black community. And we wanted to have a space where we can really explore, discuss, and acknowledge all those different aspects. He's someone who tried to continue a public discussion of so many of the issues I think you were talking about that were groundbreaking at the time of this show.
Yeah. Look, I mean, he used his platform very well. And, also he talked about mental health issues. He talked about things that, were taboo. In the black community, it's just now become okay to say you're not
Now you're
okay.
getting echo?
We have this, cultural
Oh, you know
expectation that
what? You
we're
probably hear
tough, we're
the
strong, can handle anything. The strong black
you probably hear
woman,
the
the strong
speakers.
black man. We're human beings. We're human beings. We have good days, we have bad days, we have strengths, we have weaknesses. But this kind of
How about now? Yeah,
facade
there
that
you
we've
go.
had to put up, he pulled that down. He said, "Look, we
Yeah,
we
let
need
me
to
know if it
talk."
comes back, and I'll just
And
put on my
he
headphones.
used his platform well. And that's really all you can do, I think. If you're not going to
Check this out. It's funny the way life goes, right? I'm not big on supernatural stuff, but it's just funny, like the way life goes. A month before his death, the Cosby Show star Malcolm Jamal Warner released an emotional episode with co-star Keisha Knight Pulliam and Pulliam, in which they discussed the groundbreaking show and their spiritual practices. Warner, who reportedly died July 20th from drowning while vacationing with his family in Costa Rica, spoke with his All Not Hood or Not All Hood podcast co-host Candace Kelly and Knight Pulliam for their season 2 premiere on June 19th. When asked about the end of the Cosby Show, both Warner and Knight Pulliam's eyes welled up. We were all ready to kind of move on, so I was cool with finishing the last episode and everyone saying bye. I was so cool, I had no emotions, Warner said. And then I saw Keisha, or Keshia, started crying, and then I started crying. He stuck with me for life, Knight Pulliam said. For 8 years, Warner played Theo Huxtable, the son of Cliff and Claire Huxtable, played by Bill Cosby and Felicia Rashad on the hit NBC sitcom. I do want to hear, before we get into Democracy Now!,
Malcolm Jamal Warner, who played Theo Huxtable on The Cosby Show, has died. Warner drowned off the coast of Costa Rica
yesterday
while on a family vacation.
Yes.
Police in Costa Rica say Warner was caught by a high current in the water. Malcolm Jamal Warner starred in all 8 seasons of The Cosby Show as Theo Huxtable. He won an Emmy for his role as the only son of Bill Cosby's character, Cliff Huxtable. I spoke to Bill Cosby, of course, a long
People
time
panic at
Montgomery
Riptide.
County
Don't recall the
resident right
basics
here
to
in
get
the
out
Delaware
of them.
Valley.
I was caught
He
in one Riptide in
remembered his
Costa Rica
young
during my honeymoon.
co-star
Shores
with
are unpredictable.
fondness.
Yeah.
And yet
I hate
Malcolm
the
Jamal
fucking
Warner was still
water.
able to give life to the character you had in mind?
Very much so. Very, very much so. Malcolm, you could depend on Malcolm always going to the shelter to learn his lines, to gather his character, to come out and be ready. When news came, it was shocking, and of course my thoughts went straight.
He's
to
released, right? He's not in prison.
who worked
Didn't he
so
get out or
hard.
something?
She
Or is he
was so
still in prison?
wonderful with him.
Bill Cosby also sharing with me the humanity he remembers about Malcolm Jamal Warner. After The Cosby Show, Warner went on to star in several other shows, including the long-running medical drama The Resident. Malcolm Jamal Warner leaves behind a wife and a daughter. He was 54 years old.
Fuck, bro. Well, you know, people say it all the time, and I'll go ahead and say it here. Even though it is often said, try to hold on to it and try not to take it for granted. The people around you, what do they say? Tomorrow is never promised today. And so you take those people that are near you and you hold them and you appreciate them. I talk about that a lot with, when I talk about my stories of, like my move towards atheism. And I'm not saying you have to be an atheist to think that way. I'm just sharing that I didn't really think like this until I, became an atheist. And I was like, man, because it was part of my struggle as I was kind of coming out of Christianity was, wow, like I'm not gonna see my little sister. Like I'm not gonna see my grandpa. Excuse me. I'm not gonna see my grandpa, And I struggled with that. Not because am I right, but I struggled with the sadness of that. And and that's when I was like, you know what though? That makes this life so much more precious. You know what I mean? And I do think that if more people didn't just assume that they were gonna see their families in the afterlife somehow, that I think that we would see a lot more appreciation for people today while they live, even when we talk about the way parents treat their their queer kids, right, gay or trans or whatever. I think that a lot of them think that they're doing right and they'll see their kid in heaven or some shit. You know what I mean? But if everyone knew, like if this phenomenon of everybody thinking that maybe there's something, after we're dead, if that didn't exist, I wonder how much more kind we would be to each other, knowing that this is all we have, So make sure you go ahead and live each day as if it was your last, for tomorrow is not promised today, is all we ever have. Tomorrow is never promised. That's right. When we consider that yesterday's tomorrow becomes today, then we come to understand that only today and now is promised. That's exactly right. My fist will protect me. I'll punch through. No, from what? What do you mean? Oh, the sharks. Got it. Yeah, ankle D. That's it. Now, even Rivers. See, here's the thing. There's a very scary thing about drowning that I've heard, and not to freak anybody out, but what I heard was drowning, and this is from people who've like nearly drowned or passed out and were able to be resuscitated or whatever, but drowning is not like how we think. like it's like your brain kind of turns off. It's like you're trying to stay afloat and then you're running out of oxygen, and even as you're flailing, there's a moment where your brain is like click, like because it's gonna go into fucking reptilian mode or whatever the fuck, and you just fade away. You just fade away, and that shit is dangerous as fuck. Almost drowned in a pool when I was 12. I told you about it. Yep. Country boy, nothing more than a creek growing up. I'm in the Tybee and Myrtle, but didn't go in. Yeah, fuck that. Fuck that. I don't know that I'll see my Nana or her side of the family ever again because she's rejected my trans identity and doesn't approve. It hurts that I make the most of it hurts, but I make the most of the time I have with those I have left. That's right. That's right. And that's all you can do. And yeah, that's sad. That's sad. But bright side is you have an awesome fiance, I'm sure. And so I've learned in life that that I love my family to death, but nobody comes to the level of my wife, my wife and my kids. And even my kids, if I have to be honest, will get married and will have their own family and then have their, like they'll have their own kids and really like the one who's going to be next to you, hopefully until you grow old and die is your partner. And I think, you just gotta hold on to that sometimes. Felt helpless. Yeah, it's me, ho. I guess you just gotta realize sometimes you're stuck with with the Maneater 07. Sometimes I have to sleep, but if I can, I'll come back on. Good night, Maneater. I'm sorry you have to work tomorrow early in the morning. I got her no matter what. She's loved me since I had a beard and a shaved head. That's what's up. That's awesome. That's awesome. She loved you even back when you were a crossdresser. That's sweet. That's sweet. Back when you had to dress like a man. I love that for you. All right, let's get some Democracy Now, and then we're gonna get back into it.
Democracy Now!, democracynow.org, The War and Peace Report. I'm Amy Goodman. Israeli forces killed at least 115 Palestinians Sunday, including 92 people who died while seeking aid. In the deadliest attack, Israeli troops massacred at least 79 people at the Zikim crossing in northern Gaza, where Palestinians gathered to wait for 25 aid trucks from the UN World Food Program. In a statement, the UN agency said, quote, as the convoy approached, the surrounding crowd came under fire from Israeli tanks, snipers, and other gunfire, unquote. The head of Al-Shifa Hospital in Gaza City said the facility was overwhelmed with victims shot by Israel.
Now Al-Shifa Hospital is full of martyrs and wounded. The situation is catastrophic. We can no longer handle the influx of injuries, so we have started directing patients to other field hospitals. The situation is extremely bad and disastrous. There are so many dead and wounded, and we simply cannot treat them all. The Israeli army is targeting anyone heading to get food in the Zakim area. People are starving. Signs of...
And it's not just the Israeli army. You got American contractors out there now. American contractors are out there.
Malnutrition are starting to appear.
Dr. Hassan Al-Sher is head of Shifa Hospital. The attack came as the World Food Program warned Gaza's hunger crisis have reached new levels of desperation. Gaza's health ministry says at least 19 people
I don't know if it's Blackwater, but
it's
dudes like that.
35-day-old infant and a 3-month-old baby named Yahya al-Najjar. This is Yahya's Uncle Anan.
He died due to malnutrition and the unavailability of baby formula at the Gaza Strip. We urge the entire world, all Arab countries, and everyone with a living consciousness, humanity, and
this is why we have studies that talk about the actual toll, the actual life, the casualty count. It's way more than, 50-something thousand or whatever it is now, 60-something thousand. We're talking about in the hundreds of thousands. Like mid 100,000 around there in conservative estimates, because what we are not counting when we say there's 50-something thousand dead kids, they're not counting kids who've died of disease or kids who've died of hunger, kids who died in hospitals, in incubators, because Israel struck the hospitals. All of those kids are not counted as struck and dead.
Dignity to just stand with the children, just to let baby formula get into the Gaza Strip.
In other news from Gaza, Israel's launched a ground and air assault on the city of Deir al-Balah, where thousands of displaced Palestinians have been sheltering. On Sunday, Pope Leo called for an end to what he called the barbarity of war after Israel bombed the only Catholic church in Gaza last week, killing at least 3 people and injuring several others, including the parish priest. Pope Leo spoke at the Vatican.
So check this shit out. The American contractors in Gaza are being supplied by 2 U.S.-based security firms working under the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation. The fucking depravity, man. The fucking depravity, the just the absolute fucking evil. They know what the fuck they're doing, right? These are contractors who have been shooting even non-lethal rubber bullets, spraying mace, and they are security firms working under the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation. So what are the security firms called? Safe Reach Solutions, SRS, founded in January 2025 by former CIA Station Chief Philip Riley. Safe Reach Solutions. And UG Solutions, a low-profile U.S. firm based in North Carolina responsible for managing checkpoints and supplying security staff. The Gaza Humanitarian Foundation.
This act sadly adds to the ongoing military attacks against the civilian population and places of worship in Gaza. Once again, I call for an immediate end to the barbarity of war.
Do something.
I appeal to the international community to observe humanitarian law and respect the obligation to protect civilians, as well as the prohibition of collective punishment, of indiscriminate use of force, and forced displacement of the population.
In Britain, the police have arrested another 100 people for expressing support for the group Palestine Action, which was recently banned under Britain's Terrorism Act. Across Britain, demonstrators held signs reading, quote, "I oppose genocide. I support Palestine Action," unquote. Meanwhile, the Freedom Flotilla coalition ship, the Handala, has begun its final leg to Gaza. The ship.
So when we talk about absolute free speech, there is a great example right there of why we need to be very careful when we think we like the way that other countries don't have it. And so, like in the UK, for example, if you were to go in someone's face and scream the N-word at them, you can get jail time. Like, that's a crime. You've now committed a crime. That doesn't really work that way in the United States because those are just words. Now, when I say that you can go to jail, most people, including myself, would be like, good. I wish we did that. But here's why we don't. And here's why we shouldn't wish that. Because now the UK has taken the Zionist position that, and in their mind, they're also combating bigotry, right? In anti-Semitism. So in the same way that they would send somebody to jail for yelling the N-word at somebody, right? Because they don't have free speech, guarantees in the UK. They'll send somebody to jail for supporting this pro-Palestine organization because they've determined it to be a bigoted organization with regard to anti-Semitism. And now saying free Palestine could potentially get you locked up in the UK. And this is why I'm telling you, you don't want to get rid of free speech. There is a bad that comes with the good, but you don't want to get rid of it because you do not have control over who is running shit. Look where we're at today. Imagine if we didn't have I promise you, if we didn't have the First Amendment here in the United States, we would be more akin right now to Turkey, where in Turkey you can go to jail for speaking badly about the king, about the government. Like, you know what I mean? Like in Israel, you can if you are saying too much shit about how Israel's fucking up, they can say something like inciting terror, or there was something else where it's like where you're creating a dangerous situation for soldiers, downrange. They'll figure it out. So you definitely want to be a free speech activist if you're a leftist, because one day it's you. ¿Dónde está la biblioteca?
Set sail from southern Italy Sunday with the aim of breaking the Israeli blockade on Gaza. The Syrian government announced another ceasefire deal on Saturday between Bedouin and Druze groups in the southern province of Ceuta.
My friend from
the
España.
Syrian Observatory for Human Rights says over 1,000 people have died in recent fighting in Ceuta. Israel backed the Druze by launching multiple attacks on Syria last week. In a surprising prisoner swap, more than 250 Venezuelan immigrants were released from El Salvador's mega prison Secat in exchange for 10 Americans and U.S. permanent residents who were in Venezuelan custody. The three-country deal comes over 3 months after the Trump administration rounded up the Venezuelan immigrants and sent them to El Salvador without due process, even though many of them had open asylum cases in the U.S. Among those freed in the exchange is Andrea Hernandez Romero, a 33-year-old gay makeup artist who was wrongfully accused of being a gang member by the Trump administration over 2 crown tattoos he has on each arm with the words Mom and Dad. The freed Americans include 37-year-old Lucas Hunter, who'd been in Venezuelan custody since late last year. This comes as advocates in El Salvador continue to demand the release of tens of thousands of Salvadorans detained at sea.
Okay, but what was Lucas Hunter locked up for? Lucas Hunter. Wow, that's kind of fucking crazy. I just want to say that's kind of fucking crazy. So we're saying to Venezuela says, hey, we have 10 Americans in prison here. And if you release the Venezuelans that you have in El Salvador, we'll release the 10 Americans. And Trump's like, all right, bet. Which I'm actually kind of surprised. Venezuela. Free Lucas Hunter. All right, so this is going to be super biased here. Because it's obviously for him. Lucas Hunter is a 37-year-old American who was detained in Venezuela despite never trying to enter nor wanting to go to Venezuela. The U.S. government designated him as being wrongfully detained and was one of the Americans released on July 19th. Yeah. On January 7th, 2025, he was on a windsurfing trip in Colombia when the road he was on came close to the Venezuelan border. According to the Venezuelan government's own report, Lucas never intended to enter Venezuela and tried to turn around immediately when he realized he was within sight of the border. Desperate for attention from the United States government, Venezuelan border guards coerced Lucas across the border into Venezuela. I'm sure he's a nice guy, but what a stupid bitch. I wonder if there's an unbiased thing in there, you know? Like watch him like be some sort of like some spy or some shit. Yeah, yep. Illegal immigrant. Sorry.
Caught in the prisons
Sorry.
without access to due process under
He's a
President
criminal.
Nayib Bukele's so-called state of emergency. Many have been tortured in police custody. People held in a Miami immigration jail describe being shackled with their hands tied behind their backs and forced to kneel to eat from styrofoam plates on the floor like dogs. That's according to testimonies in a new Human Rights Watch report published today detailing abusive conditions at the Chrome Jail and 2 other detention facilities in Florida operated by ICE. The report also says officers have denied detainees critical medication and held some of them incommunicado and solitary confinement as an apparent punishment for seeking mental health care. Detained immigrants were also routinely denied access to legal counsel. In more immigration news, an 82-year-old grandfather from Pennsylvania was quietly deported to Guatemala after he was apprehended during a visit to an ICE office to replace his lost green card. Luis Leon lived in the U.S. for nearly 40 years. He was granted political asylum in the U.S. in 1987 after surviving torture under the military regime of the Chilean U.S.-backed dictator Augusto Pinochet. His family says they were initially told he was dead, then learned he was in a hospital in Guatemala, a country he has no connection to. Guatemala is one of nearly a dozen countries that has an agreement with the Trump administration to receive deported immigrants of other nationalities. Related news here in New York, a 19-year-old high school student has reunited with his family after ICE agents arrested him in June at his asylum hearing. Derlis Chusan is from Ecuador and has been living with his relatives.
So real quick about the about Lucas Hunter. The Venezuelan government maintains that the Americans detained, including Lucas Hunter, were arrested under judicial orders from their proven participation in serious crimes against the country, the independence and security of the nation. They were accused of being involved in conspiracies or plots that threaten national security. No evidence has been made public, but the Venezuelan narrative frames these cases as a legal counter-espionage matters than random detention. In announcing the prisoner swap, Venezuelan Interior Minister Diosdado Cabello mentioned that some Venezuelan detainees received alternative measures like house arrest instead of imprisonment, implying the government applies judicial discretion based on individual assessments. By holding dual U.S.-French citizen Lucas Hunter and others, Maduro's administration created diplomatic leverage. Venezuelan often portrays these detentions within its own narrative of combating espionage, misinformation, and external meddling. They argue that the arrests are justified by legal and national security concerns, not arbitrary captures. From Venezuela's standpoint, these Americans weren't wrongfully detained, gallivanting tourists, but individuals with credible legal accusations against them, albeit undisclosed. And you know what? You know what? That makes sense. It definitely makes sense because we do the same thing. Like when we know that somebody is in the country to do harm, we can't say how we did it. We can't say like how we know, because then that tips your hand. That lets the enemy know our capabilities. Like if it was through some sort of, whatever means that we figured it out, we say this person was a spy, we know it, and they're gonna go to a U.S. prison now, and they're not gonna disclose what the secrets are. So why would Venezuela, right? And so what Venezuela is saying is that they were not there just driving around. That's the U.S. story. And I'm gonna tell you what right now. I'm telling you, I'm gonna believe fucking Venezuela over the United States, because oops, I was just surfing and was driving from Colombia all the way to Venezuela, accidentally into Venezuela, is some CIA level fucking shit. So I believe them any fucking day. So fuck Lucas Hunter, but at least 100 and some odd Venezuelans got to be released. Oh, look, Jon Stewart's later than Robo. Oh, yeah. Oh, Mr. Is he going to stream tonight? Wants to show up. No, appreciate you.
In Queens. This is a member of the legal team, Melissa Chua of New York Legal Assistance Group.
We are so excited to welcome Darley's home. He was taken a month ago in immigration detention, violently taken from his family, held at 26 federal.
I think Mamdani is going to have a very, very rough road ahead. Oh man, sorry to hear that. I will tell you though, Jon Stewart, it's not going to get better. I want to say it's going to be like, hey, just stick around. We got some fun stuff to talk about. It will be fun talking shit about the Mamdani people, though. So there's that. But it is kind of depressing how many kids are out there. Hydrate. Appreciate you, Dr. Midnight. Here's the road that's ahead of Mamdani right now. Mamdani I think is definitely sincere. I think Mamdani is going to go in there and do everything, and this is key right here, do everything within his power to get what he's, right. But what do they have? They have the commissioners, they have the city council, he can't just wave a wand and make things work. So what the right is going to do from now on, right, is all the shit that they would never do to their own people. They're going to look at anything that is not good while Mamdani is mayor and show that as proof of, see what happens when you vote for a socialist mayor. If he pours his attention into public housing and transportation, but crime in this particular district shoots up, well, then they're going to be like, look what happens with crime whenever there's a socialist in place. If Mamdani lowers, is successful in lowering the New York City budget to be able to push it towards other avenues like education or mental health, and in the evolution, right, there's that growing pain that happens. Maybe we see a spike in crime before it levels off, before we see the benefits of the social assistance that we provide. It doesn't matter, because they're gonna highlight those spikes and say it's because you voted in a socialist mayor. So it's a lose-lose. It's a lose-lose for him. I'm excited for him to be there. I've even considered, me and Manny were talking, like, if shit kind of, works out, if things become cheaper, I would move. I would 100% move to New York. If he does a good job up there.
Plaza for many days in horrible conditions, and then transported to Texas, far away from his family, community, friends, and school. And you can see how much they've missed him, because we have a number of supporters from his home, from his community, from his school here with him, waiting for him today.
Another New York high school student.
That's right. I'm depressed by the bad news and pissed off at the two people that, look, however many people are watching, just go ahead and click that bad boy. Just click that bad boy. If there's more people watching, it's free. It's free.
Student, only identified as Dylan, remains in ICE custody since being taken by federal agents at a routine immigration hearing in May. Dylan's a 20-year-old asylum seeker from Venezuela. In Georgia, prosecutors have dropped all charges against the prominent Spanish-language journalist Mario Guevara, but he still faces deportation and remains jailed at an ICE detention center in Folkestone. Guevara was arrested while covering No Kings demonstrations in June. He's lived in the United States for some 20 years and has built a large following for his reporting on anti-ICE protests. Homeland.
I would love, I'm not gonna lie, I would love to live in New York. But I would love to live in New York, like close to where I can take advantage of the public transit system, because that traffic, I can't handle traffic like that. I remember that shit. I went there to visit family when I was a kid, and that traffic is I don't know. There's any place in the world like it.
Security Secretary
That's
Christina
what's up, Michael
lashed out at
DeFonte.
journalists
Appreciate
during a
you.
press briefing in Nashville, Tennessee, Friday, denying widespread evidence that ICE agents are racially profiling people. The reporter is heard saying, quote, ICE operations are taking...
That's impossible. They would be better. They would be better just admitting it. You know, like figure out some sort of legal loophole to say, look, it's not our fault that I can make a better fucking argument than they're doing right now, because when they tell my wife, hey, you need to prove that you work here because you work in a nonprofit, it's because she's Hispanic. It's because she's brown. When you live in a border state and you're walking around speaking Spanish, you are being targeted because you're brown, because you're speaking Spanish. Like, of course you're racially profiling. Why would you deny it? Fucking idiots. I heard the New York subway was dangerous and filthy. Add traffic as an alternative, and I'll just go somewhere else. Yeah, no, I feel you. And that's why we want to see what Mamdani does. We'll see.
Placed predominantly in Latino communities before being interrupted.
That's the problem right there. Rent. It's why I don't want to go back to Washington State. Like, everywhere is so like, if it's nice to be there, then it's gonna be expensive to be there. Like I live in Savannah, Georgia, and have a decent house and a yard, and I like my neighborhood, but there really isn't much to fucking do here, which is why it's cheap to live here, because it's like, who the fuck wants to live in Savannah right now? You know what I mean? But Atlanta, where there is a lot to do there, it's more expensive to live in Savannah. I'm sorry, Atlanta. So if it's dope to live there, it's gonna be expensive. I would love to move to Paris. Legit. I'm not even kidding. Like, we spent 10 days in Paris. I fell in love. I fucking love Paris. But then you look at the rent there and it's like, maybe not. Maybe not.
My audience is predominantly Latino. So they kind of every day say they're fearful because a lot of people have been targeted based on their skin color, not necessarily.
That's not true. And so that has been another false narrative that has been put out there in the media that I absolutely want to throw back at you and say that is absolutely false, and don't you dare ever say that again.
The Democratic Republic of Congo and rebel forces have agreed to a declaration of principles.
That's the next thing. We need sad music. We need apology music. I say we got apology music we need. Because now I need to make an apology. I say bitch a lot. I really try hard to not use that word towards women. And that was a boo-boo. So I apologize for that. You can buy a big crib in Japan for way less than you can here. Just gotta learn Japanese. Japan is actually kind of dope.
Aimed at ending the conflict in East.
Look, I'm not sitting here trying to watch fucking porn with little pixelated genitals, though. So that's a deal breaker. I'm sorry.
Congo. A final peace deal with the Rwanda-backed M23 is set to be signed in August. Negotiations have been
women
can
say bitch.
Rwanda has been accused of supporting M23,
I'm
which
trying
has
to be
seized
better.
major portions of the eastern DRC, including the cities of Goma and Bukavu, killing thousands of people and displacing hundreds of thousands more since January. Police in Brazil raided the home and political headquarters of former far-right President Jair Bolsonaro Friday. Brazil's Supreme Court also ordered Bolsonaro to wear an electronic ankle monitor, citing fears he may flee the country amidst his trial for plotting a coup to stay in power.
Yeah, me neither, Viola.
Brazilian authorities also accused Bolsonaro of working with the United States to impose sanctions on Brazil.
But AI is getting crazy because... I'm not saying AI porn, but I've noticed, because it'll look a little like off, and I'll be like, it looks off because they take like the video and then they have AI kind of clean it up, and then it's like it just looks like low res, like blurry but not pixelated. It's just I'm like, look, man, like We know what's happening. Every Japanese person watching this shit right now knows what's happening. What is the point of pixelating it? You know what I mean? If you're going to do all this, just ban it. You know, like, it doesn't make any sense. I'm sure they use VPN for their point. Yeah, for sure.
After President Trump threatened to slap a 50% tariff on Brazil over the prosecution of Bolsonaro. On Friday, the Trump administration escalated its attacks on Brazil by revoking visas for 8 of Brazil's 11 Supreme Court justices. In the United States, the Environmental Protection Agency has announced it'll shut down its scientific research arm.
Of course it will.
The move has sparked widespread backlash from public health experts and climate advocates who've warned this could lead to the dismantling of protections that shield communities from hazardous chemicals, water contaminants, and toxic pollution. Gretchen Goldman, president of the Union of Concerned Scientists, said in a statement, quote, "The nation enjoys a cleaner environment thanks to the decades of high-quality research coming out of this office. Our nation cannot let this stand."
In one Trump term, the U.S. is going to be, is going to go from a leader in research and technologies, or one of the leaders. And I don't say this as an American exceptionalist. I just say this as the fact that we have a shit ton of money, right? And so if we have a shit ton of money and there's a way for us to do research on it to make more money, then we're going to do that. And so all these advancements that have come out of the United States, that shit's going to go to a big old fat zero. And we're going to be fucking nobodies, which, by the way, I think is probably a good thing. In a way, maybe Trump is doing us a favor, cutting us back a few 12 decades.
Unquote. This comes as the EPA is also seeking to delay monitoring and cleanup requirements for toxic coal ash, allowing coal plants to stall cleanup beyond the year 2030.
For sure.
President Trump's threatening to block a new stadium deal for the Washington Commanders football team.
That's where my deal is like, when we think about the disabled, right? We think about the disabled, and we think about Black, brown, indigenous, queer folks. Like when we think about the people that are harmed in the dismantling of the system that we have now, these, the most vulnerable communities are still going to be harmed. But now it's like, okay, if we're going to be in danger, at least let's be in danger during the dismantling of this bullshit ass country that we have. And we don't even have to dismantle it. You know what I mean? We don't even like loss and walk. The U.S. is about to lose its 25-year status of having eliminated measles. You know what I'm saying?
Unless the team restores its old name, the Washington Redskins. Trump also called for the Cleveland Guardians.
Wait, what the fuck did he say? Hold on. What did he say?
Washington Commanders foot. President Trump threatening to block a new stadium deal for the Washington Commanders.
This motherfucker is so racist that he says, I'm not going to allow federal funds to be used in your stadium unless you actually change your name from the Washington Commanders back to the Washington Redskins. I need somebody to just do it already. That's all I'm saying. I just need somebody to do it already. Didn't Trump steal a trophy? Yes, he did. Actually, did he? Because I know he tried to get in the picture, and then he stayed in the picture for far too long, and then they kind of like edged him out. I don't remember if he 5 inches to the left. Yeah. Well, he was right here. Yeah. Do it and make it popcorn. Exactly.
Football team.
Exactly.
Unless the team restores its old name, the Washington Redskins. Trump also called for the Cleveland Guardians baseball team to resume using its old name, the Cleveland Indians. Both teams had changed their names following years of protests by Native American groups and their allies. In a major victory for cryptocurrency industry, President Trump signed the first federal legislation to regulate stablecoins. The group Consumer Reports criticized the legislation, saying it fails to protect consumers and the economy from the risks posed by these digital assets. President Trump—
all distractions. Yes. Yeah, exactly. All to distract from the Epstein files. He knows what's going on. But you know what? It doesn't matter. We're not going to know shit about it. Here's what I need everybody to remember, though. Here's what I need everybody to remember. You know who else had the fucking Epstein files? Come on now. Well, of course. Of course Trump's not going to release it. He was in it. But who just had them last year? I fucking hate the Democrats.
Trump has filed a $10 billion libel lawsuit against Rupert Murdoch, the Wall Street Journal's parent company, Dow Jones, and two reporters.
Oh, fucking
After the Wall Street
Jiden.
Journal reported Trump had contributed a sketch drawing of a naked woman to a birthday album for serial sex trafficker and rapist Jeffrey Epstein's 50th birthday. CNN's described the lawsuit as a, quote, extraordinary escalation of Trump's ongoing legal campaign against the media companies he views as opponents, unquote. Trump's close
voiceover, there must be more to life than having everything done up again. Donald says, yes, there is, but I won't tell you what it is, Jeffrey, nor will I, since I know what it is. Donald, we have certain things in common, Jeffrey. Jeffrey, yes, we do, come to think of it. Donald, enigmas never age. Have you noticed that? Jeffrey, as a matter of fact, it was clear to me the last time I saw you. Donald, a pal is a wonderful thing. Happy birthday, and may every day be another wonderful secret. Oh, I wonder what the fuck they're talking about. It's fucking rapist-ass pedophile.
Ties to Jeffrey Epstein are coming under increasing scrutiny as demands grow for the Trump administration to release files on Epstein, who died in prison in 2019. Especially strong are the demands by the MAGA base. Over the weekend, the New York Times revealed a former Epstein employee told the FBI in 1996 about a troubling encounter with Trump in Epstein's New York office. In other media news, the Writers Guild of America is urging New York officials to investigate Paramount's decision to cancel Stephen Colbert's late-night show on CBS.
This is pretty interesting
Colbert's
right
show
here.
was canceled just days after he called out Paramount for agreeing to pay President Trump $16 million to settle Trump's lawsuit against CBS's 60 Minutes. In a statement, the Writers Guild said, quote, given Paramount's recent capitulation to President Trump in the CBS News lawsuit, the Writers Guild of America has significant concerns that the Late Show's cancellation is a bribe, sacrificing free speech to curry favor with the Trump administration as the company looks for merger approval, unquote. And in news from Minnesota, the Minneapolis—
See, here's the problem, though, Viola. He's not saying that we're not going to declassify it. He's saying they don't exist. And now what we have to have is some sort of independent department to raid him to prove they exist. But who would every department like that falls under the President of the United States? And the Supreme Court, what was it, 2 years ago now, or a year ago, said that that now the President of the United States cannot be charged with any crime when it is in the commission of his duties.
Democratic Farmer Labor Party has endorsed Democratic Socialist State Senator Omar Fatah for mayor over two-term incumbent Mayor Jacob Fry, who plans to run for re-election. Fatah is the first Somali American and the first Muslim to serve in the Minnesota Senate. And those are some of the headlines. This is Democracy Now! Democracy.
Yeah, that's what's up. That's what's up. All right. All right, so now we have the Supreme Court as a joke. We're fucked. We're fucked. They have the majority in the Supreme Court, and they've ruled. Yeah, exactly right. They've given the office of the president qualified immunity like a mother, and Amy always sounds like she needs a drink. I would too. Like, if you think content creators are deep in the news, imagine a journalist. Like, this is what you do every day. Like, she's not sitting there playing altars or marbles, you know what I mean? To, like, let her. This is what she does every day, 40 plus hours a week. Where can you get that cap? That's a really good question. If you like this cap, or maybe you like this one better. Maybe you like let's make Israel Palestine again. Maybe you like this hat. Head over to leftface.tv and pick you up some. Here, let's see what else we got over there. Because we got some new designs coming. Jon Stewart shot me some designs. Maybe I like that A-Team deal. We can figure that out. That's what we got. Leftface.tv. I made this website my fucking self. I'm kind of proud of myself. Yeah, we got some of these. We changed up the hat because my uncle got this hat and it was like way up high. It was like printed up here. But now we have it. I lowered it, added a left face thing to it. Yeah, these are the oh shit. So we go over here, go to shop all. You can check what's going on over here. This is actually I gotta get this one. I gotta get this one. This one is pretty cool. Left face, the revolution will be live streamed. So that's I think I might actually change up the logo on the top left instead of that rose. I think I'm gonna change the logo to this. Oh, that left face deal, you want that on a hat? Or that brown fist there on the emoji. Which one are you talking about? We got a white resist in cursive. Or white, or you can do black on red, white on red. Oh, actually, I just realized something. This is the replacement. This is the one you don't want to buy. I did not realize it was still listed. Well, I'm glad I'm doing this because I gotta take this. I gotta unlist this one. I took this one off and then replaced it with this one. From the river to the sea. Bought one of these bad boys. Bought it in green, actually, in this green, and that was a nice little work. Pains me to say white cap doesn't work that well for you. Oh, really? Really? What is why? Why doesn't no? Was the black one working better? That's 2-1 right there. That's 2-1. Cause my wife and Tay. My wife and Tay the Fae liked it. And we got 2-1. My mom said it was nice too. My mommy said I was handsome. White ain't right for you. I don't know. Any other color. Just not white. Anyways, head over to leftface.tv and pick you up some gear. Just so you can rock some cool shit. If you got any ideas, DM me on Discord and shoot me some design ideas, and maybe we can get a cooler one out for you. All right. So here's a warning. Here's a warning. On this particular deal, I did get a little bit of a strikey strike last time. Not a real strike, but it was it got hit to be taken down. So like if you ever go look at the live stream for the other one we did on Jubilee, it's not there anymore because they didn't want to take it down. But I've also seen other people watch it. So I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's like maybe I don't press play and just let the whole thing play. Maybe we just watch bits and parts of it. That white hat is way better than that ghost face mask. Nah. That ghost face mask. That is money. Money. Trust. Just ask Maneater. Just ask Maneater. Do we have New Balance in the U.S.? Sure do. We sure do have New Balance. And Adidas. And for anybody who doesn't know what the fuck I'm saying, because I sure shit didn't know, that's how people in Europe say Adidas, which is fucking wild. And yes, I do know it's from German, and I know that that's how you pronounce it in German. It still fucking blows my mind. That nobody like that but Maneater. That's fair. Nah, you would think. What was it? Me and Ernie, when we were doing one of the trailers, like we already knew, like we got to be talking. So we were talking the entire fucking trailer, commenting, pausing, all that shit. Still got hit. I'm like, man. I learned to say it the American way because of my Adidas. All right. To the point. If YouTube, this has happened to me before, if YouTube cuts off the stream because it doesn't like me showing it this way, and you're on the YouTube side, head over to twitch.tv/leftfacetv, and let's do this. I need to make some commands. And come hang out on the Twitch side, because Twitch don't give a fuck. But if the YouTube cuts off in the middle of nowhere, just head up. That YouTube might have shut it off. But here we go. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna wear headphones for this one. Yeah, it's fine. One view. Let's see how many views it has so far. Let me see. Yeah, they got 3 million views. Okay, I'm not worried about giving them views. They have 3 million of them. They'll be fine. All right, bet. Here we go.
You're just settlers from the 1500s.
Colonialists.
Yeah, colonials.
You don't look very Native American to me.
I am Native American. Whites are Native Americans. What are you talking about?
So just a spoiler alert for you all. This is going to be full of actual Nazis. Just so y'all know. If you didn't know that already, and by the way, when I say that, I'm not saying that as a leftist who understands, that the United States is fascist and yada yada yada, and we're using Nazi as no. They will tell you that. You're gonna hear some of the wildest mask off shit in this deal if you haven't already. If this is your first time playing it through, this shit gets wild. Exactly, it's not hyperbole.
First claim is Donald Trump is pro-crime and pro-criminal. Beta.
Tay the Faye follow. I thought you already followed. Oh, okay, gotcha.
Welcome.
You're here on Twitch side.
Nice to meet you. I'm Mehdi.
I would just like to ask, what makes someone pro-crime versus, anti-crime?
I think when you're soft on criminals, when you let criminals out of prison, when you pardon people who've assaulted police officers,
Adolf
you're
Twinkler.
pro-criminal. Donald Trump pardoned almost 1,600 people who were involved in January the 6th. I think 600 of them had been charged with assaulting a police officer or obstructing a police officer.
So Jubilee's been getting a lot of shit with how they, they just let people say whatever. And that's been one of their biggest, when people say they're not responsible with how they platform, et cetera, et cetera. And so they've been doing this a lot more, throwing up fact checks as it happens post edit.
170 had pled guilty to assaulting a police officer. 70 had pled guilty to assault with a deadly weapon. J.D. Vance said, we're not going to pardon the violent criminals from January 6th. Donald Trump pardoned all of them. Are you okay with that?
I would say January 6th is a very special case. I would say it's almost a climax point in history. I would just phrase the question this way. Right now in the LA protests, if they were to, just for example, they were to rush the capital of LA, I mean, they'd have to move over all the homeless people living in tents on the steps of the Capitol. But if they were
got
to
him.
the Capitol and they were just protesting, peacefully, let's say police officers were rushing them in. They were letting them in and saying, hey, you guys can go in, like we have many testimonies that say.
What about the violent ones, though?
Okay, violent ones like
a man named David Dempsey, a judge, a Reagan-appointed judge, sentenced to 20 years in prison. He stomped on police officers' heads. The judge said his conduct was exceptionally egregious. He attacked police officers with flagpoles and pepper spray. Donald Trump pardoned him. There's a man named Daniel Rodriguez. He got 12 years in prison.
Look, nobody's walking out of here alive. Like, I just want everybody to know. If you guys were looking for any, like, damn, Mehdi got eaten right there. Nope. Mehdi is overeating. He is completely gluttonous. This entire deal, he devours each and every one of them. And I want you to pay attention to this ahead of time. Watch what happens when you start getting towards the end and Mehdi is aware that there's enough flags that it's about to be called over, because then he's going to get his punchline in. He's going to get his closing remark that's going to be a hard hitter. And because he knows they're about to get kicked off the table. He's fucking good. He's good.
For taking a stun gun and tasing a police officer in the neck and giving him a heart attack. The judge said he was a one-man army of hate. Donald Trump pardoned him. Does that not make Trump pro-criminal? He's letting violent criminals out of prison.
I would say no, it doesn't make him pro-criminal.
You're okay with that?
I did not say that. I said that one pardon against somebody.
It was 1,600 pardons. 600 of those were...
Yes, an example that you just gave me.
I can give you more. Should I keep going?
Fine. And I'll say the exact same thing every single time.
Then your argument will fall apart because it's not just one example.
Because then it's just one. Well, now it's just two. Now it's just three. 4 hours later. Well, okay. Well, that's just 1,437. The master debater.
If I keep going.
Go for it then.
Okay, Shane Jenkins got 7 years in prison for 9 criminal offenses, attacking police with a deadly weapon, destroying government property.
How do pardons that probably shouldn't have happened turn into pro-crime?
So you've agreed that they shouldn't have been pardoned?
Sure, but that wasn't your claim, was January 6th. Your claim was Trump is pro-crime.
Yeah, because he pardons criminals.
Okay, I would say that's a fault.
Let's talk about non-January 6 people.
Okay.
He's pardoned people like Paul Walchak recently, who took millions of dollars from his own employees, was sentenced to tax crimes, had to pay back $4 million. Trump pardoned him. He bought himself a $2 million yacht. Why is he pardoning criminals like that?
Well, I don't know. I don't think you should. I don't think really presidential pardons should be a thing at all. But I
agree.
I don't think that.
All right, pause.
That means something.
You've been voted out by the majority. Please return to your seat.
Thanks.
That's that. And then, listen. DSB Prime is saying it right here. This is like watching Prime Tyson fighting 20 scrubs off the street. That's why this is entertainment. All right. We might as well call this Braid Rot Hour. Nobody is going to learn anything from here unless you're interested in the sport of debate. This is not proof that Mehdi is smart and they are dumb. I want that to be very, very clear to everybody. This is not proof that Mehdi is smart and they are dumb. This is proof that Mehdi is way fucking better. He is like a pro-level athlete of debate, and these are regular people who are not. It just so happens to be that he's also correct. But I just need everybody to understand that if you put a Nazi who is as media trained and as experienced as debate up there with a bunch of leftist 20, 25-year-olds who have no debate experience, they would look equally as fucking stupid. And that's the point I need a lot of people on the internet to just fucking get through their mind is that debate is a skill. There is an entire fucking sport about it. We are watching this as entertainment because Mehdi Hasan is correct. So now we get to watch a correct person be Mike Tyson punching a bunch of toddlers. And some people might not like that. Maybe Screwface doesn't like watching toddlers get punched by Mike Tyson. I, for one, I am entertained. Are you not entertained? Jordan Peterson already had his Jubilee episode. That was the KK conservative versus conservatives. Yeah, no shit, right? Mehdi is technically a liberal, yes. Mehdi is like one of like the 4 liberals that I like. And I would have to call him a liberal. He has said some positions, and he'll even make some here where he talks about borders and things. Like it's very clear that he's not a leftist. And I haven't actually heard him be anti-capitalist. Some of the defenses that he's made towards business policies that Biden's made, you know what I mean? Like he'll say certain things that let me know, okay, he's not an anti-capitalist. And I'd say that is like the first hurdle. Like you take off on the race of are you a leftist? And it's that very first hurdle. And it's like, what do you think about capitalism? And if reform is in there, if you know, it's not inherently bad, but it needs to be taken care of. You just fall. You hit that fucking barrier and you eat shit and you're out and you're horribly, your bones sticking out of your shin. You're off the race. And so, yeah, I'm pretty sure he's a liberal. However, he's pretty fucking cool. He's one of the good ones. He's one of the good ones.
How's it going?
Hey, how's it going, Mehdi?
What is it?
Mehdi.
You're from northern UK, I guess?
I'm from London, North London.
Okay, fair enough. What's your ethnic background, if you don't mind asking?
My parents are from India.
Okay, perfect. Just getting premise here. First of all, I want to say
the premise of Donald Trump being pro-crime.
No. I want to concern myself with why you care about what's happening in the U.S. first and foremost. Secondly, I want to say this: the argument, like,
God, fucking
care about what's happening in the U.S. first and foremost. Secondly, I want to say this.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Can't be mad at him. This is, if you guys do not remember, this is the Nazi Nancy from the Sam Cedar Jubilee.
The
should
argument,
US, should people who live in the US not care about?
Let's not interrupt each other. Because I have this thing, like people know I have this thing. I have to stay calm, okay? So here's the thing. I am happy that
I hate dudes like this. My daughter asked me today. My daughter asked me, do you think you could do something like this? And I'm telling you right now, I couldn't. Because when I come across people like that, if you guys didn't catch it, and I'm sure he was not subtle about it, he's low-key like coming off like threatening. That's what he's doing. He's doing a fucking Hulk, you won't like me when I'm mad bullshit. Like that stupid, like I'm an alpha. He probably loves fucking what's his name? The kickboxer dude, the rapist, human trafficker. I'm just gonna stare at chat until it comes up. Andrew Tate, thank you. And so Andrew Tate he watches Andrew Tate, he's all about that. So he's like, so I just need him. Everybody knows, I just need to stay calm because sometimes I'll flip out, and then you don't want to see me like that. Like, if I come across somebody like that, I'm going to now become obviously antagonistic, and then I lose the debate because I look like I'm an asshole. I'm like, well, don't come down on my behalf. You know, and then I'll just keep egging him on. I hate fucking little fucks like this.
In fact, so much so that I was prepared to protest if he didn't.
Okay.
So when you say, are you okay that he's pro-crime? Sure, because you know what? We're changing the definition of what crime is, first and foremost.
You don't think stomping on police officers' heads is a crime?
I don't think it's no longer a relevant conversation anymore. You're
really?
arguing. No, it's not, because you know what? Okay, have you seen the U.S. in the last 4 or 5 years?
Yes, I've
BLM protests. Have you seen? Okay, I myself have been involved in these protests. I've seen egregious things that you couldn't even imagine.
So
being
we have no
done
rules
to conservatives. It's not about that. It's about tribal warfare.
Okay.
That's where we're at in the U.S.
Things you couldn't even imagine. I don't know. Like, what do you think he's seen that has been so just beyond the pale? Like, people have broken down in society and started eating people and killing people and then feeding off the fallen warriors on the field. It's just, I saw one dude rip out the rib cage of another one and wore it as armor. It's just, you guys would never even be able to imagine the type of shit I've seen.
I don't know where you're at in the UK. You're from India, so I don't really.
I'm not from India.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, your parents are from India, so
I'm an American
you
citizen.
have your own stakes.
I'm an American, you know.
You're an American citizen?
Yes.
Okay, fair enough. I don't know how you got that, but fair enough. Here's the thing.
Are you an American citizen?
Absolutely.
Okay.
But here's the thing.
Not sure how you got that. Okay.
Born here.
Okay.
Born here, and my family lineage is settlers from the 1500s, so I have some stake in the claim here. Okay.
But you're
a little different.
But you're
than
a
yours.
descendant of immigrants, settlers,
I didn't know.
colonialists.
Yeah,
You
colonials.
don't look very Native American to me.
I am Native American. Whites
not.
are Native Americans. What are
Sorry,
you talking about?
you're not.
What are you talking about?
Hell yeah, brother. Hell yeah. Man, I fucking love it when a Nazi comes out here and just fucking just Nazis out. Nazis out.
Whites are Native Americans.
Really?
I think
What was happening before the 1500s?
I think you're getting confused with it.
I don't mind going on a tangent, but what was happening before the 1500s?
Calm down. I think you're getting.
What was happening before the 1500s?
There was indigenous people here that came here from Asia.
Do you know what indigenous means?
Listen, before
indigenous
America,
people can't
you're gonna
come
let
from
me
somewhere
finish?
else.
Why do you ask a question if you're going to interrupt?
I'm not sure if you know what the meaning of indigenous means.
I do know what it means. It means
sound
they
like it.
came here first, right? They came here from Asia by way of land bridge. Have an argument with Neil deGrasse Tyson or anybody else about that. I don't care.
Is he an American?
I genuinely don't care. Yes, he is.
Okay, just checking.
My point is, okay?
Nothing to do with crime. So far, you've agreed with me that these people are
Because you're
criminals.
derailing, dude. I'm trying
You
to stay
literally
on track.
sat down and asked me where I'm from. I think you derailed this
I think you got
conversation from the
offended
get-go.
by that, but because
I'm
I'm
not
always
offended. I'm
curious,
just wondering what it
because
has to do with
I'm
crime.
always curious.
We're going to talk about
why-
immigration. Don't worry. Later on, you can come back.
I hope so.
Right now, you're doing a very bad job of making the case
Yeah,
that
no
he's not
shit.
pro-crime
I just
and
got a
pro-criminal.
round of applause. I could probably get another one actually if I asked.
I'm in a look at how fucking excited that dude was. Look how excited he was.
Making the case that he's not
I
pro-crime and
just got a
pro-criminal.
round of applause. I could probably get another one actually if I asked for it.
Oh, what a fucking go. Oh my God, he's fucking eating this fucking dude up. That's right. Let's see you try to get a round of applause in a room of 20 other Nazis. What?
Wow.
So I don't think I'm doing
Is this how
as
you
bad.
get rounds of applause? You sit in a room with 20 people who agree with you. Wow, amazing. Amazing. That
Well,
must
wait
make you
till
feel
this comes
good.
out. You know what? I'm
20
actually
people who
glad
agree
you're
with
getting
you
this
applauded you.
emotionally outraged right
Wow.
now. This is great.
I love it.
Do I have to say anything at this point, or are you just going to
Please.
keep going?
No, please.
Okay.
Make your claim.
My claim is that I don't care if it's pro-crime. You want to go back to the topic of conversation?
That's fine. We agree then.
So,
He's pro-crime
but
and you
I
don't
have a
care.
question for you, though. Do you care on the opposite side of the spectrum?
Yes.
Do you care about law being administered
Yes.
to the opposite side of the
Yes.
spectrum?
I think
when they're
anyone
doing
who
the same?
assaults a police officer shouldn't be pardoned. I think that Donald Trump shouldn't have pardoned 9 Republican members of Congress who were convicted of crimes, and I don't think Joe Biden should commit. I don't think
you
Democrats should
understand.
pardon Democrats.
Fair, but I don't
We
think
both
you
agree.
understand where we are in the U.S. then.
I think I do.
No, because you're
I think I do
arguing
this for
from
a
a
living.
position of like a U.S. that doesn't exist anymore.
Okay.
We're headed towards
so
tribal-
nihilism, no laws, nothing matters.
It's not about
everyone's pro-crime.
It's not about that. It's that
That's
conservatives
convenient.
conservatives for too long have been playing it safe. They've been playing by the law.
Really?
They've been
They've
playing
been
it
playing
by
by
the
the
book.
law.
Yes, they have.
Maybe
We're
you missed the Bush presidency.
conservatives
Did you
are
live
so
here during the Bush
concerned-
years?
Conservatives are
Didn't
so
play by the
concerned.
law, George W.
Let me
Bush, nor did
finish.
Ronald Reagan.
Let's be respectful to you. Let me finish.
I'm not sure you've been that respectful, but okay.
I'm trying to bring it back to this program, okay? I'm conservative, okay?
Really?
Let me tell you this. We do play it too safe. We've been playing it by the book for too long.
We've been playing it too safe. So anytime a conservative says we've been playing it too safe, all they're saying is, I'm a Nazi. And I am really, really upset at how Republicans have tried to not obviously be Nazis. It's like, just be a Nazi. Just be a fucking white supremacist, white nationalist who wants a crystal fascist nation. Why won't you do that, you fucking Republican Party? That's what makes them mad.
At this point, gloves are off, right? The left has made their point. They're willing
Are
to
the
do...
police force in Washington the left?
Yes!
Why
Are
would
you
they-
kidding me? The left? Are
Oh,
you
wow.
are you
Police
insane?
officers.
Look at
Wow.
LA right here. You think those stand down
You think the LAPD are a bunch of liberal Marxists?
No, but I
Really?
think they listen to liberal Marxists who tell them what to do.
Okay.
I think they listen to who signs their paychecks at the
So
end
can
of
I
the
just
day
check,
who are
because
liberal
you're doing
Marxists.
lots of little diversions. We both agree Donald Trump's pro-crime, you're just fine with it.
No,
Is that the
I
position?
don't
That's what you've
agree
said
with
so
your-
far
I
for
don't
about
agree with your
5 minutes.
I don't agree with your definition
What's
of
your
crime.
definition of crime?
It doesn't
Stomping
matter.
on a police officer's head
No,
is not
what-
a crime.
I-
That's
no,
your
what I'm
definition of crime.
I don't agree with your definition of crime. Okay, what's your definition of crime? It doesn't matter. Expert, fucking expert, a whole ass ninja in the martial art of debate.
Crime. As the
He keeps getting
Native
me out of it.
American.
I am Native American.
If you
Okay,
say so.
So going back to the topic at hand, we have different definitions of crime because you're talking
convenient.
about.
There's a
It's not
criminal
about-
code
it's
in
not
this
about
country.
what's
It's called a
convenient.
U.S. criminal code.
You know what? Let's focus
That's
on
what
what we
everyone
agree on.
focuses
I'm
on.
sure you and I actually agree on a
Do
lot
we
more than
agree
you
that
realize.
people shouldn't stomp on police officers' heads? Can we agree on that? If
I'm
you don't
not-
agree on that, then I really think this conversation is kind of
No,
pointless.
because first of all, you're saying what? That the police have the authority, that they're given the authority. I don't accept the authority that's been given by liberal
conservative position. I thought the conservative are pro-police.
Then you
Or
don't
we
know what a
redefine-
real. Hey, listen,
So
you're
we
in a room
redefine
with
crime.
juggernauts right now.
We
Okay?
redefine
I'm telling you right now,
conservatives.
You're in a room with fucking juggernauts, bro. You're gonna get fucking eaten up for breakfast. Yes, because the conservatives, the Republican Party, has not been the party of law and order since fucking forever. It's the fact that the law and order they want is the law and order that keeps white people in power. The order is white supremacy. That's what the order is.
Going to be blown open if you think that my
if we're going to
position is
struggle with the
hard,
English
you
language
have
for the
no
next couple
idea
hours, then
what
we'll
you're up
struggle.
against right now. Okay.
100%.
Yeah. Newsflash: the conservatives are liberal to me. Okay. Neocons,
There it is.
libertarians,
There it
all
is.
those mainstream people, they might as well be leftists to me. Okay. That's how far to the right I am.
That's how far to the right I am. You ever heard of a little place called Nazi Germany? Let me tell you about it. Huh? Let me tell you about it. You think Ronald Reagan's to the right? Fuck Ronald Reagan.
Understand my position? So when
I
you say,
kinda guessed it when you sat down.
say, about obeying police, why would I give the authority to police? Do you know here in America?
Do you think Donald Trump should be pardoning 9 members of Congress who committed financial crimes? Are
Let
you
me see if I can remember
Are you
his name
pro
right, because
financial
it's so-
crime?
Do
Are
you
you
know
pro
Thomas-
financial crime?
Do you know
All
who
right,
Thomas
pause.
Timbo is?
Pause.
I think the people who clapped you have voted you out.
See what I'm talking about? And that's why I could never do one of these. You know what I mean? I'm surprised there hasn't been like some like low level type of these for like smaller YouTubers or something. I've seen those a lot, like debate panels and shit. I couldn't, because if I come across somebody like that, I'm not gonna be able to be cool. I can't be cool like this guy. You know what I mean? I'm gonna jump right in with my own Andrew Tate shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be out there because I was talking about this the other day, where, and this is toxic, by the way. This is toxic. I wish I could be a Mehdi. I look at people like Mehdi, and I look at like this dude in the green, and I admire Mehdi. Like, Mehdi looks like a gentleman. Mehdi looks like a dude who's gonna fucking steal your, never mind. That's toxic too. It's like, let me calm down. I admire that. The other one looks like a clown. But I think like I've been raised in the university of clownship and toxicity for so long that, I'm not gonna go back there. I'm not gonna revert back to toxicity, like with regard to anything regarding like homophobia or anything like that. But I can go back to toxicity in terms of violence, right? And so if somebody were to be like, you're pissing me off, as a way to let me know that I need to chill out because they're getting mad, or like everybody knows that I'm not going to be mad, then I'm going to look like a dumbass like him. And I'm not going to ever put myself in a position to look like a dumbass in front of like millions of people. You know what I mean? Because I'm going to go to his level. I'm going to be like, we'll do it. Do it now. Like, fuck this fucking mic. Get the fucking mic out of the way and fucking say what you want to say. That shit. I feel my anger rising up. I want to fucking put on a suit and come in there looking like madmen and fold my legs how they do and smoke on sip on a little thing of whiskey while they're fucking having a meltdown. I want to be able to be that guy. It's not in my DNA. This guy thinks Jenna Ortega isn't hot anymore because she's too old for him. 100%. Sorry, you're right. See what I'm saying? I can't even do it here, and he's not even really in front of my face.
Jordan?
Nice to meet you. Hello, sir. How are you?
Hey, so I'm going to be as respectful about this as possible, but the truth is your claim is completely bad faith. You do not care about being anti-crime.
That's a very good point. You're very, very, very correct. And because, you know what? That's a very good point, because Jubilee has a brand to protect, and they want this to appear as this is beneficial. This is a good thing that we do. A lot of people give a shit for it. If they were to add people that were like threatening and fucking slapping shit up, sure, somebody else might put that on for clicks and shit like that. But Jubilee would be like, nah, that's not the, that person's not making it. Get them out, cut that out. That doesn't make it to the YouTube. I see that. Yeah.
For pro-crime, your side is pro-crime because you're a progressive.
How am I pro-crime?
So I'll give you an example, right? So your side, not Donald Trump, has passed a series of laws in California. Let's go with California. It's where we are right now. It's where I'm from. I don't know. Are you from California?
No.
Or okay. So in California, for example, the state legislature, completely progressive, just passed a law that limits sex offender registration to 10 years. It was life before. That's pro-crime.
California has a tier-based sex offender registry. Those who commit misdemeanors have to register for a minimum of 10 years, while those who commit more serious sex crimes have to register for 20 years to life. So I know this might be a hot take, but I will say that there are times where somebody makes a mistake as a teen. Like, so imagine being like 18, 19 in California. You're 18, 19 years old. Last year you were in high school. And a 16-year-old wants to hook up. And like a dumbass, you hook up. And now you get hit with statutory rape. And you are 55 years old, never having done anything remotely like that in your entire life ever again, but you still are on the sex offender registry. I think that's fucking ridiculous. Like, I'm not defending or justifying the 18-year-old and what they've done, but I still find the level of the way that this wrecks your life, I find it to be ridiculous. And so what California has done is kind of like look at the severity. Maybe that 18, 19-year-old who sleeps with a 16-year-old, maybe they get 5 years on the sex registry, right? And they see how fucked their life is for 5 years, and then you can come off it, and then maybe that they learned their lesson or something like that, Or maybe the person did something and then they've gone through a certain amount of therapy. To sit there and say, I don't know that I agree with any like 100% type of like, okay, now this is the thing that you're gonna have for that's not true. I could think of some shit. Especially on the sex offender side. But not everybody is like a violent sexual predator like we imagine when you get put on the sex registry list. And I think California is recognizing that. I don't see a problem with that.
The legislature in California, which is progressives again, has
I have heard this. That's a true story. Maybe you took a piss and some kid saw you and you have to register. Yeah, you illegally took a piss in the street. Let's say you're drunk outside of a club and you fucking whip your thing out and you pee off the curb thinking you're hilarious. And somebody drives by with their kid in the car, calls the police on you. They press charges because their kid just saw your thing. You have public indecency, exposure to a child, and now for the rest of your life you're on a sex registry deal if the judge ordered it. That's wild. That's fucking ridiculous. So, California agrees.
Passed a law that says the voter-induced three-strike law is no longer absolute. If someone murders someone, stabs someone on 3 separate occasions, a judge now does not have to give them life. That's a progressive law. That is pro-crime.
Wrong, you stupid motherfucker. The 3 strikes rule like this motherfucker cares. The 3 strike rule disproportionately affected Black and brown people, and it was a way to get people put away and entered into legal slavery for the rest of their life. The 3 strikes rule is inherently a racist rule that made sure that if you were marginalized and grew up in a poverty area, it made sure that the cards were stacked against you. And now they're like saying, well, no, sometimes, you can give somebody a 4th or a 5th chance, and it depends. He's absolutely lying that stabbing somebody 3 different occasions and getting arrested for 3 different stabbings, that would be the sort of thing where you will get life. That because there's 3 severe deals. What they're talking about is This is how it go in California. This is not, if you're not from the United States or you're not from California, or if you haven't heard of this, this is not hyperbole. If I rob somebody, right, when I'm 18, maybe I mug somebody, and then when I'm 22, I hold up a gas station. Then I turn my life around. I try to get some help. But when I'm 28 years old, I go through some bullshit and I fall off the wagon or something, and I steal a pack of bubble gum. I take some bubble gum, I put it in my pocket, I try to walk out, and a cop grabs my arm and says, "You're under arrest for shoplifting." That bubble gum in my pocket will be the reason I spend the rest of my life in fucking prison. Anybody who's okay with that could never say they're pro-life, could never say they're a fucking Christian, could never say that they give a fuck about human life. They just want punishment. That's all they want. Shoplifting in a brisket. Exactly. This is what I'm talking about. You know? So no, 3 stabbings, you're probably gonna go to jail for life. But this is the type of shit that California is moving away from, which is a good thing. Got a better one for you. Joshua says, I got a better one for you. Dude just turned 18 with a 17-year-old girlfriend he's been dating since 9th grade. Parents didn't like him, and bam, statutory charges. Mississippi is the worst. If your state does not have a Romeo and Juliet law, I'm pretty sure New York doesn't have a Romeo and Juliet law. California does not have a Romeo and Juliet law. It is a common misconception that Romeo and Juliet laws are countrywide. Nope. The day you turn 18, you could have been sexually active with your partner all through your guys' 17 when you were 17 years old, and the day you turn 18 and you have sex with them again, you're statutory rape, sexual predator for the rest of your life. Come on.
You support that, don't you?
I actually don't support sex offenders coming off a list. I think they should be on for life.
Okay, so you disagree with progressives.
So the crimes. You don't think releasing violent crimes into the community with them, pardon them, and 5 minutes left. I'm surprised it hasn't come. Fret when
understanding. How are you, sir?
Nice to meet you, Mehdi.
Nice to meet you. Thank you for coming. I appreciate you. I really just more want to get an understanding. When you say pro-criminal, what do you mean?
I mean that when confronted with people who've committed criminal acts, Donald Trump has been either soft on them, friendly with them, pardon them, and of course, let's not forget, I mean, we've got 5 minutes left. I'm surprised it hasn't come up earlier. He's a convicted criminal himself sitting in the White House.
Okay, I want to make sure I understand you correctly, because I don't want to strawman you.
No,
you're saying
I appreciate that.
Every time that he's been confronted...
Not every time. I
Most
didn't say
times.
the words every time.
Most times.
A lot of the time.
A lot of the times.
Yes.
He's leaned towards criminal activity.
I didn't say criminal activity. He has committed crimes.
Endorsed criminal.
He's been indicted for 88 different criminal offenses in 4 different jurisdictions by 5 different grand juries. He was convicted himself on 34 different criminal offenses by a jury of his peers. Okay. But let's park that for a moment.
Okay.
Separate to his own crimes, when confronted with the crimes of others, or the alleged crimes of others, for example, a Chinese crypto billionaire called Justin Sun, who was being investigated for market manipulation, Trump dropped the case, invited him to the golf course.
What did I miss? What did I miss? What was 88? I think I zoned out there for a second. What was 88?
Examples,
and the guy invested $70 million in Trump's cryptocurrency.
So what I want to ask you this.
Pro-crime, in my view.
Is it possible, because remember, burden of proof's on you, right? You have to prove. Is it possible that all these things that he's done that supposedly make him pro-crime, is there's another reason for the doing it? There's other justifications. For example, let me give an example, and then you can rebut it. The J6.
Yes.
Is it possible that he could have done this to unite the country, to move past, to go to a new chapter? If it's even possible, I think you would have to admit that there's another possibility. Therefore, he's
so what this guy doing here is doing real debate. Now he's actually trying to be like an actual good faith debater. He's saying that if the intent of Donald Trump was to unite the country, or because he thought an injustice happened, then even if you believe that it was an indication that he let criminals off, his intent is what matters more than the action. And Mehdi Hassan's going to disagree, but at least it's somebody who's not just coming in here saying like Heil Hitler a bunch of times. Just long different ways of saying it.
Not pro-crime, at least in possibility.
So let me agree and disagree.
Yep, okay.
So I agree with you that the intent could be different. I don't think Donald Trump was sitting there saying, how can I increase the level of murders? Let me release some murderers.
Right.
I'm not saying he did that on January 6th. I don't think he was trying to unite the country. That's where we disagree. That's bullshit. In fact, he divided the country further. But intent doesn't really matter to my claim. If he's releasing violent criminals,
wait.
it doesn't
Intent
matter.
doesn't matter?
No, he's pro-crime and pro-criminal.
No, but that's a big indictment to say pro-crime. That means
If I'm
he's
confronted,
for crime.
I'm confronted. Well, he is, because for example, I gave an example.
No. It could
Can I
be
finish?
possible.
I didn't
Okay, sorry,
interrupt you.
forgive me. Yep.
Your friend earlier, your ally, said, where has he done stuff that's increased the crime rate? I'm telling you, people have been pardoned who have been convicted on multiple other crimes. These people who we pardoned had previous criminal records. They were not just some folks chilling around go, we're against the takeover of our country, we're opposed to rebellion. A lot of these people were already hardened criminals, militia members. He looked at those people and said, you know what? They've been convicted, in many cases, by Republican judges, but I'm going to let them out. Yeah, that makes you pro-criminal.
Is it possible?
Very much so.
All I'm trying to say,
and if Joe Biden had done it, you'd be attacking him.
Sure. Is it possible that their conviction was part of a plea? It's like, oh shit, I can't get out of this, so I got to take a plea deal.
Some of them, maybe.
A lot of them, maybe?
Others we saw with our own lying eyes on tape, battering police officers.
So I want to eventually...
Did you watch live on January 6th? What happened?
To be completely honest, I'm pretty novice on this.
Okay.
I'm more trying to target... You're saying he's pro-crime. In my head,
I'm
just
saying,
thinking this logically... let me finish, if I can finish for 1 second. If thinking this...
He's talking about semantics. He's trying to win this as a semantical debate. And I'll be honest with you, I'm not sure he's wrong. I'm not sure I disagree with this guy. Because he's sticking around, he's sticking to semantics. He's sticking to, could it be possible that Donald Trump thought he was doing the right thing, that justice was not being served? Even if you disagree with him, what if Trump thought that? And if Trump thought he was, restoring justice by pardoning them, then you can't say he's pro-crime, because he's, I get it. I get his position. I'm not sure he's wrong.
There's a possibility that he might have had other reasons. For example, unifying the country, next chapter, right? That could be the reason. Therefore, it's not pro-crime. There was other reasons. I'm just saying that's a possibility. And if that's
I'm saying it's a possibility, but I'm saying it's irrelevant, because if you're knowingly releasing violent criminals out into the community, pardoning, not just releasing, then yes, you are being pro-criminal. And I've interviewed police officers.
I actually don't like that point. And I'm gonna say right now that from a debate perspective, when we're in this argument, I think he's literally incorrect. I think a better argument from Mehdi would be, okay, if I believed that Trump was only doing what he thought was just, and not if I believe that, then you would be correct, that he would not be pro-crime because he thought what he was doing was just. What I'm saying is, and this is really more my position here, is that I call bullshit on the fact that he thought what he was doing was just, because it wasn't only the people who stormed the Capitol, right? Because if it was only the people that stormed the Capitol and nothing else, and that's all they did, then I would concede the point and say, like, all right, that doesn't prove he's pro-crime. But not only did he pardon the people who stormed the Capitol, he pardoned the people who did violent things and had this video proof of stomping on cops. And there's a guy being crushed in the doorway screaming, somebody help, and he's screaming help. You know what I mean? Which I'm mad at. I'm more mad at the fact that they made me feel sorry for some pig. Why would they do that to me, right? I mean, how dare they? But I don't believe that he thought he was doing something just. I think he was just wants to piss off the left and make the right happy, and by doing so, he proved he was pro-crime. He's gonna pardon Diddy. Can you fucking imagine?
I've interviewed police officers who have been assaulted, beaten, had to retire from the police office, broken bones.
Can I move really quick?
I'll finish very quickly. I've interviewed these police officers. They've been beaten by people who they've then seen walk off the streets and then
Exactly.
carry on threatening them. Yes, when Donald Trump is responsible for that, you're definitely pro-crime.
Okay, I doubt a lot of the sources, but
You doubt police officers who testified to being assaulted?
You've
Wow.
been voted out by the majority. Please return
Nice
to your
to meet you.
seat.
Thanks. Hey, how's it going?
Good. How are
Nice
you?
to meet you, Mehdi.
So you claim that your main claim is that Trump pardoned some people from January 6th. By the way, I was there. I saw it all firsthand. About a football field away. There's smoke in my eyes. Bloodied. It was.
I don't care. This one right here. This is the one. This is one of the ones that we should have really just started with. This guy right here. Apparently, I don't know all the details, but I think he's an influencer, and I think he is the reason why a lot of people are pissed off at Jubilee, because this dude just got a lot more exposure. You know, like, think of me, right? Think of how many people are in the chat right now. Think of the amount of people that watch me. It doesn't matter who's up there. It could have been Jordan Peterson. If I can get to that chair and go viral, my brand is good. Left Face would blow the fuck up, right? I'll be that guy that got the shit on Jordan Peterson. And if I'm a conservative, I should be upset that I all of a sudden helped Left Face blow up like that. And that's what's happening here. Most of these people in this circle are content creators, right? And so every single time one of them comes to the table, it's exposure. I don't think I'm being a hypocrite because, first of all, my reach is not fucking huge, but also because they've already got 3 million views on there. Like, this is if he's exposed, like, oh, and Nazis don't watch me, you know, so. If I knew there was a bunch of Nazis that watched me and I just spent all day trying to convince them to not be Nazis, maybe I wouldn't watch this.
It's a pleasure to meet you, sir.
Mehdi, lovely to meet you.
So I would say that with Trump being anti-Constitution, I don't really care, to be quite frankly.
Okay.
Because in regards...
So, if I didn't mean to kill someone, but I do, does it diminish the death rate because I didn't? Right, but it doesn't. He didn't say that it increases the amount of criminals in the population or the crime rate. He said it doesn't make you pro-crime. I think that if you were to accidentally kill somebody, right? Here we go. Here's a good one. C. Rouse. Somebody says C. Rouse is pro-murder. Pro-murder. Okay. Prove it. Well, C. Rouse was I'm sure reach is just but C. Rouse he shot somebody in his house and it ended up being his uncle, but he thought it was a home invasion. And he just did 5 years, for murder. So there's proof. So you're proof that Rouse is pro-murder because he shot his uncle by accident and had to do 5 years in prison for it? Yes. Like, no, because see, Rouse in this hypothetical didn't think he was doing a murder. He thought he was defending himself, right? So the intent matters with regard to whether or not you are pro whatever. You know what I mean? So that's why, that's why I would say that you'd have to prove, which I don't think is hard to do, that Trump knew he was letting criminals go. He did know that. And that's why he's pro-crime. Yeah.
In regards to the Constitution is a document that should seek to serve us.
Yes.
And when it fails to seek to serve us, that can be amended. Laws can be changed.
Who's us? I wonder who he means. Who do we think us is for him?
And quite frankly, the fact is, we're defending things in this country that shouldn't be defended. The First Amendment should not defend pornography and making children and women be victimized. Making women and children be victimized as a result of that. I think things like blasphemy shouldn't be allowed per the First Amendment. I think that, quite frankly, there are a lot of
Nobody should be able to talk bad about my God. You know that that Christian denominations don't even agree on what blasphemy is? There's not a single definition for blasphemy. There's multiple definitions of blasphemy.
legal processes that are enabling criminals and bad people to fully enact their will in this country in the name of the Constitution or following the Constitution. So, quite frankly, if Trump is anti-Constitution, good, and I think he should go further.
So this is
fuck yeah, brother. Yeah. What I say? If the Constitution don't let you become a Nazi, then fuck the Constitution.
Wonderfully revealing of the modern conservative mindset. So I appreciate you spelling it out so openly. Just checking, do you support the Second Amendment?
I do.
Okay. Surprise. I was shocked to hear that. I'm saying that Donald Trump is defying the First Amendment, the Fourth Amendment, the Fifth Amendment, the 14th Amendment. He's thinking of defying the 12th and 22nd Amendments. You're saying you don't care about the Constitution, but actually you do because you quite like the Second Amendment. You just don't like the bits that you disagree with. Can I just be clear on that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I'm more than willing to amend it and include
whenever
the
it's in
Second
your
Amendment.
favor.
Yeah, absolutely.
So can Democrats do the same when they're in office?
No, absolutely not. Because
So you don't
it's the
believe
friend
in
enemy.
democracy?
No, I don't. Absolutely not.
What do you believe in?
Look at that fucking face.
Not because
you don't
it's the
believe in
friend enemy.
democracy?
No, I don't. Absolutely not.
He's like, say something. I just fucking went viral, brother. I just went viral. That's right. I could hear the money clinkly clinks now.
What do you believe in?
Autocracy.
By who?
Honestly, quite frankly, anyone who is in line with Catholic teaching.
Donald Trump is not Catholic.
Of course, he's not. I completely agree,
So
and
you
that's part of
support
the problem.
Trump? You don't support Trump?
No, I don't. I didn't even vote for him. I wrote in like John Pork or someone. I can't even remember.
Why did you vote if you don't believe in democracy and you want autocracy?
Well, because quite frankly, I voted. I kind of voted just to.
I came with this
troll a
argument,
little
but
bit,
I'm bored of my own argument. I'm much more interested in this. So
yeah, absolutely.
How do we get to an autocracy?
I think, quite frankly, that if we are able to enact local leaders.
Who is the we, by the way?
I think, quite frankly, these far-right conservatives sitting right around
White
me.
people?
Yeah.
I'm a democratic socialist. I'm a democratic socialist because I want to, before a bloody revolution, try my fucking best to use the current system to get this country to socialism. I am a democratic socialist. This dude is a democratic fascist. And I don't think I've ever met one. Like, I think this is the first democratic fascist. What he's saying here is that he needs to vote. He needs to do what needs to be done until he gets their way, and then he'll change it. We need to get somebody in office who's willing to become king, and then we make him king, and then boom, it's over, because then Catholic rule begins again.
Absolutely.
So,
well,
some
actually,
of you guys,
I have quite.
Some of the people in this room don't make the cut from what I can see visually.
Actually,
Okay.
hold on.
Hold on.
I have quite sitting right around
White
me.
people?
Yeah,
No brown
absolutely.
people. So,
Well,
some
actually,
of you guys,
I have quite.
some of the people in this room don't make the cut from what I can see visually.
Actually, hold on for a moment. I do think that there are people who happen to not be white who do actually have history in this country and have roots in this country. For instance, from the Mexican-American War, we subsumed a lot of territory of people who have far stakes in this country who happen to be Hispanic or what have you. I'm for defending the traditional demographics of this country, which is majority white, and should stay that way.
How does the United States... I mean, we've gone so off topic, but how does the United States look like under you? Sorry, what's your name?
My name is, my name's Connor. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Took a little bit of a doubt there.
Oh,
to say
well,
your name.
I use a pseudonym online,
Fair enough,
but
Connor.
fair enough.
How would Connor's America look? What would it look like?
Well, quite frankly, I think we would deport people who shouldn't be here.
No, I didn't ask about deporting. What does the government look like?
What does the government look like?
Yeah.
I would say, quite frankly, it's under a sort of benevolent leader, such as
Where does he come
Franco. It could be a kind of aristocratic class. Could be someone
But who picks the autocrat?
Frankly, the people. I mean, we could hold a vote on it. Kings were
Isn't that democracy?
Well, sure. You can have a vote to get to that stage.
And then no more votes afterwards?
Absolutely.
Wow.
100%.
Quite frankly.
And if that autocrat kills you and your family, you're fine with that?
Well, I'm not going to be a part of the group that he kills, because that's the whole thing.
How do you know?
Carl Schmitt
Autocrats tend to kill everyone,
Carl
even their own
Schmitt makes
supporters.
this point very well in his work. It's the friend-enemy distinction, right? You
Carl
liberals,
Schmitt, the Nazi theoretician.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't care.
Are you a fan of the Nazis?
I frankly don't care being called a Nazi at all.
I didn't say that. I didn't actually say that. I said, are you a fan of the Nazis?
Well, they persecuted the church a little bit. I'm not a fan of that. But
what about the persecution of the Jews?
Well, I mean, I certainly don't support anyone's human dignity being assaulted. I'm a Catholic.
But you don't condemn Nazi persecution of the Jews?
I think that there was a little bit of persecution and stuff like that, which is bad.
We may have to rename this show because you're a little bit more than a far-right Republican.
Hey, what can I say?
I think you could say, I'm a fascist.
Yeah, I am. Absolutely.
I'm just checking who's clapping just to get my set of where everyone is.
And they clap. They clap.
Millions of people.
They clap. They're happy. That's fucking wild. And this is where we're at, by the way. Like, this is literally where we're at. He laughs like a German Nazi. Twitch, fuck you, fuck off. Fuck off. Violet369 says he laughs like a German Nazi and is held for racism. Get the fuck out of here. Fucking Twitch automod. The Pope gave his silent consent to both the transatlantic slave trade and the Holocaust. Real talk. Really? I know the transatlantic slave trade for sure. I didn't know about the. So the Catholic Church at the time did not take a side, like didn't say anything about the Holocaust. That's wild.
People are going to be watching you on YouTube and checking out who the fascists and the Nazis are.
I'm not ashamed of that whatsoever.
No, clearly you're not.
During the pre-war period, prior to World War II, it was only those parties that properly enacted the People's War period.
Hold on, I gotta see this again.
I'm a fascist.
Yeah, I am.
I gotta screen clip this one there. Yeah, that is the face of fucking evil right there. That's wild. Yeah, okay, clipped. Yeah, exactly.
I'm just checking who's clapping just to get.
No. He's serious. This is serious because he's like, yep, hey, it is what it is. You know, he's coming out, and I need people to understand, as I'm sure you all do, the fact that this is the norm. This is who they are. And that's why we have never Trumpers. That's why we have people that are like, I used to be conservative, but I'm not anymore, or I used to be Republican, but I'm not anymore. It's because this is who's taking over the party. These people. And him saying that, him saying that got a round of applause.
Set of where everyone is on this, because you know that millions of people are going to be watching you on YouTube and checking out who the fascists and the Nazis are.
I'm not ashamed of that whatsoever.
No, clearly you're not.
During the pre-war period, prior to World War II, it was only those parties that properly enacted the people's will. That's why they won. The conservatives were fat cats. They were aristocrats.
Are you in favor of killing people who aren't like you?
Quite frankly, I'm not.
You mentioned Franco earlier. Franco killed a lot of innocent people.
Oh, well, he killed communists. He killed people who raped nuns and killed priests.
What about children who he killed and women who he killed?
What are you talking about? He never killed any women or children. He was Catholic,
He only killed combatants. Is that what you're claiming?
Yeah, he only killed combatants.
Never killed any innocent people.
Franco and his forces killed or executed 150,000 people. That includes members of the Catholic clergy who were deemed either liberal or loyal to the Spanish Republic.
White terror was only punishing those people who did acts of terrorism. And again, are you supporting like raping innocent women? Nuns, dude. Killing priests? I mean, priests don't brandish guns and kill people.
You just refuse to condemn the Nazi Holocaust, my friend. I don't think you're in a position to ask anyone any questions.
I quite frankly don't care what you think about me. If I'm a Nazi and being a Nazi
is mutual,
and being a Nazi means upholding human dignity, because I even believe in your dignity. I don't in a state that I was running, I wouldn't want to hurt you or anything like that. But quite frankly,
I don't debate fascists.
Okay. So do you concede then? I mean, why
do I concede you're a fascist who won't?
He looks exhausted. You know what? You know what? I think he looks exhausted. And if you allow me to try to be a little presumptive here, I think he looks defeated. I think that if I was in a room with 20 young people, right? Because it doesn't look like anybody in that room's older. Like that angry dude looks like maybe he's like 35 or so, but everybody else looks about to be anywhere from, 25 and 30, 22 to 30 maybe. And they're cheering fascism. I think I would come out of there sad. Because if I'm Mehdi Hasan, who knows that he knows his shit, knows that he knows how to debate, maybe you come into this room thinking, they're kids. And if anybody in here is in their 20s, I apologize. I know you're not kids, but like to old people with beards that look like mine, they're the youth. And to be surrounded by the youth and you can't change their mind and they get applause for being for somebody saying they're a fascist. That's gotta suck. Like, oh my God, maybe the future is not as secure as we think it is. I guarantee you, I would bet a limb. I would bet a whole ass limb that he's a Holocaust denier, 100%. Francoist history, yeah. He was a Catholic. He only killed terrorists and communists. Tay, the I was still a kid. See, yeah, you hold on to that. Never grow up, Tay. Never grow up.
Condemn the Nazis.
Yeah.
Yes, I can see that.
Okay, great. So I mean, what are we doing here? Because I mean, you just seem
know
offended.
what you're doing here.
You just seem offended, to be quite frankly. Like
I'm offended by people who can't condemn the Nazis. Yes, I am.
Okay. Well, I condemn the evils that they did, but I don't really
Against
care
the
about
Jews?
being. Yeah, sure. I don't care about being called a Nazi is the whole thing.
I never called you a Nazi.
I care
You
about
called
doing
yourself
the right
a Nazi,
thing.
a fascist, and a General Franco supporter.
Well, yeah, I am a General Franco supporter. He was awesome. He was so super cool, quite frankly. Because the whole
and
thing.
you don't believe in democracy.
I don't believe in democracy.
What are you doing here at a televised debate?
Because,
this is democracy. Don't want to debate and disagreement.
Because it is the means to support an end. The reason we have free speech now is because we want to be openly talking about our opinions so we can get the state that we want. But it doesn't mean upholding free speech after we win. Again, I mentioned
the only good thing about this fascist moment we're in is that you guys are so open about it.
The whole reason I mentioned Carl Schmitt earlier, and you kind of blew past him, is the friend enemy.
I think it's funny that the right wingers they just reuse him because there's the guy who didn't know that the government agencies don't get tax breaks or they pay taxes.
Even liberals, when they take power, they want to enact policies and they want to enact protections for their people and their ideas, and they're willing to punish their enemy.
Are you in the United States, Tay?
And so I'm the same way. I'm like, hey, if you're going to punish me, I'm going to get in power, and I'm going to frankly punish you when you try to leverage power against me. Just that simple.
Yeah, man bun, that's him.
I'm not sure what you want to say.
Hey.
And these people will say that he crushed him. The reason why he can't talk is because he got owned. I guarantee if you go look at some YouTube shorts, there's somebody out there who's made a bunch of with this guy owning Mehdi Hasan. When really it's Mehdi Hasan just being like, you're a fascist, you're a Nazi, so what I'm not gonna go back and forth with you. That doesn't make any sense.
It is what it is.
All right. Pause. You've been voted out by the majority. Please return to your seats.
Oh, that's right. You said that.
I can't say the same, but
Can you be in Mississippi and be out? Like, can you be in Mississippi and present as yourself? Or is that what you mean by stealth mode? Where you gotta do a little bit of cross-dressing for your safety. That's how right-wingers use speech to eventually take over. That's why we have to make the world an unwelcoming place for fascists. 1,000,000%. 1,000,000%. This has to be, you have to call this shit out every time. You got to make sure you're surrounded by people who are willing to call out every time. That's why I joined the DSA. That's literally part of the reason why I joined the DSA, because I needed to join a group of people that were willing to say and do what it takes to make life uncomfortable for fucking bigots. Can't even get homeless for safety reasons. I have to go stealth and just boyish armament. I am so sorry to hear that, Taylor Faye. I hope you get the opportunity to leave that place eventually. I'm really, really fucking sorry to hear that. That's heartbreaking. The problem with the mainstream is that they are folding in culture. Yeah, because they get on that, and that's what everybody here needs to fucking reject. They get on top of that fucking polite, what do they call it? Fuck yeah, I forget what they call it. Well, it's all about it. What's most important is to be polite and to show to be an example, to be kind to people. And it's like, bro, fuck that. Fuck that. You hear somebody talking nonsense around you, say something. You hear somebody drop the N-word, say something. You hear somebody being a fucking homophobe, say something. Make life uncomfortable. And then that way, everyone around you who looks at you like they're the problem, they have to announce themselves that they are also homophobes. And you make life uncomfortable for everyone. Fuck that shit.
Thank you. Good to meet you, Mehdi.
Good to meet you, sir. All right. So I kind of want to start at the basics or the foundation.
I'm glad
It's
we
good
end
to
on
meet you.
agreement. It's Hey, how are you? I'm Mehdi.
Hi, I'm Jessica.
Nice to meet you.
How are you? So Trump is defying the first.
This is gonna be a rough watch. I just want everybody to know. I'm sorry.
Fourth.
5th and 14th, and maybe the 22nd soon.
Okay. So I want to focus on the first.
Okay.
And the 5th.
Fuck yeah.
So you say
Good
that
shit.
Trump is defying the First Amendment. Can you give me an example?
For example, he banned the Associated Press from attending White House events. A Trump-appointed judge said that was against the First Amendment. He's been cracking down on media organizations he doesn't like over their speech. If they say stuff he doesn't like, for example,
Cracking down how?
So, for example, he banned the Associated Press from attending White House events because they
can't go
said
to the White House
it's the
either.
Gulf of Mexico. That's not how it works. They were already at the White House. He deprived them.
She's the barista who pretends Jose is hard to pronounce.
For access, so he punished them for their speech.
But
which is
are
why
they
a
allowed
judge,
to go to the press?
Which is
though?
why.
The Associated Press was banned from the White House press pool and other official events. District Court Judge Trevor McFadden, a Trump appointee, reinstated their access and said banning the outlet violates the First Amendment.
The judge he appointed, Trevor McFadden, said this was contrary to the First Amendment. A Trump-appointed judge. He's called MSNBC and CNN illegal.
Oh my God.
Media organizations
Jesus
are not
Christ.
ipso facto.
The truth coming, he's like, oh yeah, no, I'm gonna win this one. Okay, all right, the truth here, you win.
That's free speech.
illegal.
He can call them whatever they want.
Attacking the media
Yeah, he can
by the
attack
president as the executive?
Yeah, he can
And-
say whatever he wants. That's literally the First Amendment.
He can say whatever he wants.
Absolutely.
But the media can't say what they want.
They do.
But he's going after them. He's suing them. He's using lawsuits to crack down on the press.
They
Presidents
used
have not done that
lawsuits
before.
to give him 34 felonies that Hillary Clinton did.
Clap.
No media gave him a lawsuit.
No, but people
Oh, we're
on
talking
the
about the media.
Democratic side.
We don't talk about the Democrats.
Okay. So he can call them whatever he wants because that's the freedom of speech.
He's threatened to imprison reporters.
He
He wants to
absolutely.
imprison. He said reporters should go to prison for reporting. He threatened some of them with prison rape. Right? That is against the First Amendment.
Okay. How is that against the First Amendment?
You don't think sending reporters to prison for
Is he
reporting that he
sending
doesn't
them?
like?
Did he do that?
He wanted to. He said so.
Okay,
I would like them to go.
I would really like to.
So
fly.
other people stopped him doesn't mean he's not defying the Constitution.
So
he
can
also
want,
said if you turn up,
excuse
he-
me,
please.
he can want to do something.
Yes.
That doesn't mean he will or he can.
Okay.
And I think he's very.
Well, I've already
aware
given an
of
example of something he did do to the Associated Press, but okay.
Yeah. Okay. So the Associated Press isn't allowed in the Oval Office, which is his office. That's his executive.
The same people who clap for her will say that that Kamala Harris is annoying to listen to. Like they don't like her voice, but will clap for her. You don't care about their voices. You care about what they're saying.
Space.
Okay.
And they are allowed in the press room, just like CNN, just like The Guardian.
Which he thinks are illegal media organizations.
He can
He
think
calls
whatever he
calls the
wants.
media the enemies of the people.
You called him a fascist.
Yeah.
you can say whatever you want.
Yes.
Yes.
But the
and he's-
president is. I'm not the president of the United States with executive
So
power
no, okay,
to
so
crack
then
down on the
First
media.
Amendment only applies to the citizens, but not the president.
I never
of the
said that.
United
In
States. Okay,
fact,
so
Donald
then
Trump
he
runs
can
his mouth
say-
more than anyone.
Absolutely, he
Yeah.
does.
And he
He
doesn't
is-
just
he
say
is-
stuff. As I said, he actually does stuff. He actually does crack down. For example, you Fifth Amendment.
Yes.
Due process.
Yes.
Judges have actually said you have violated due process.
Yes,
of people on trial.
except for people kind of forget the Clinton, the 1996 Immigration Reform Act, where you can get limited due process when you have expedited.
American citizens?
No.
What about American citizens?
Good for you, Tay. Good for you. If you ever have like a, if you ever get like a GoFundMe or something like that you want to promote to get out of there, just let me know. We'll try to signal boost it. I'm sure Ernie would be on board too.
That's American.
2 American children have been deported, multiple this year. Have you not been?
No. Their parents have been deported, and their parents say,
No,
"I'm
the
going
father
to
was
take
American.
my baby."
No.
Was mom legal?
We don't know because they didn't go to court, and the judge.
They
by
don't
the
have
way,
to go to
by the-
court.
yes.
That's not a part of the due process.
Are you a lawyer?
I'm very aware of it.
Are you a lawyer?
Do I have to be? Oh, we're making an argument.
Are you a
now
lawyer?
We're making.
It's a simple question.
No.
Are you a lawyer?
Okay, we're making an argument.
I'll take that as a no. A Trump-appointed judge in the case, not some Marxist lefty judges you people like to call them. A Trump-appointed conservative judge said you cannot, it is illegal and unconstitutional to expel or deport an American citizen without meaningful process. He said that in April. So that was an act that Trump did. It wasn't speech. He got rid of an American citizen from the country without process.
So
That's the Fifth Amendment violation.
Since I'm not up to date on that specific
I'll give you
case,
more.
I'm sure you can. So.
Well, you weren't aware that American citizens are being deported. It's a pretty big story.
Yeah,
Maybe if you read the fake news, you might know.
What?
If you read the fake news, you might know what's going on. A lot of American
how
citizens
would I know what's going
have
on
been
if
deported.
I read fake news? I don't watch CNN or Rachel Maddow.
That's,
Sorry.
That's why you don't know that your fellow citizens have been deported this year.
My fellow citizens.
Are they
no.
not? American citizens haven't been deported?
Okay. When a child goes with their.
All right, guys, that's time. Please return to your
Nice to meet
seat.
you.
Nice to meet you.
Oh man, yeah, that's a good one too.
Hey, before we go any further, the clarity you deserve and news to check it out. Our way to bring with us.
Overall, are good for America. Hi, how are you?
Hello, nice to meet you,
Mehdi.
Daniela. So in regards to your claim, I just want to start by asking this. Do you care more about helping Americans or immigrants in this claim?
Immigrants are Americans. I'm an immigrant and an American.
Well, immigrants are not Americans. Americans.
She looks exactly how you would expect somebody to look for somebody who says this shit that she's about to say, just so you know. Immigrants, whether you're a citizen or not, immigrants are not Americans. Listen to her rationale for that. She's not misspeaking. She's not tripping over herself. She's letting you know that an immigrant who's an American U.S. citizen is not an American.
People that were born here.
That's not true. Where'd you get? What's the basis of your claim for that?
Are you talking about people that get naturalized in the process of becoming American?
Not only am I gonna skip their ad, I'm gonna remind you guys that I have merch that you can get at leftface.tv. I'm also gonna let you guys know that you can get 15% off an annual subscription at groundnews.com or ground.news rather. And just use my link that is in the description, or it floats on the bottom of the ticker, or it just popped up just now. Check.ground.news/leftface for 15% off your subscription. Strike my shit. I don't give a fuck.
14th Amendment. Have you read it?
Okay, yes, I have.
Citizenship clause. It says any persons born or naturalized in the United States are citizens of the United States.
I'm aware of that.
There's about 40 to 50 million naturalized Americans in this country.
Yes, but
You didn't seem aware of it because you said Americans versus immigrants.
So, but are you understanding that the process of getting all these immigrants that come in here we've been also, the millions of immigrants, it's up to the millions, it's the last 20 years now, and it has dramatically affected Americans here in the country, which
Positively, I would argue.
People like me,
Hey.
around here, we cannot find homes or
Appreciate
and I'm
the
going to
biddies.
remind you that this stream is brought to you by viewers like me.
That's right. That is actually exactly correct. If you all didn't show up every time I streamed, I would not do this at all because streaming to nobody sucks. So I appreciate you all very, very much. I appreciate the 100 bits DSB.
even get jobs within our own fields that we go to college for, that we get into debt for. And because more blue collar work, especially in construction, agriculture and so forth, and the hospitality industry, we cannot get jobs in those fields, so it requires
Are you looking for a
us-
job in construction
I am
or
not,
agriculture?
no. I went
Just
to
checking.
college. Many people here are in college or went to college, but we can't even find jobs in our fields, also because of the H-1B visa program as well. But in regard
So no college graduates working construction? That's interesting. I don't think she knows about like engineers and architects and managers and all the college educated people that go into construction. Construction is just for people who didn't go to college. Apparently, got it.
Of just your claim about immigrants specifically, we kind of
Yeah,
need to get
100%.
jobs to pay for housing.
Unemployment is at a record low right now, even under Donald Trump. And I'm not a Donald Trump fan, but I would say unemployment under both Biden and Trump has been at record low levels.
Okay, is this in regards for American citizens?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Well, I'm unaware of that statistic, but from what I see,
Clearly.
I'm an immigrant and an American, and I employ many American citizens, both naturalized and the ones born here. I employ Americans.
My parents came
Americans as defined by you.
My parents came as immigrants and became naturalized, so I'm not necessarily opposed to immigrants.
So you're the child of immigrants.
Correct. I'm a child of immigrants. I was
But
born
you don't
here.
accept that immigrants are Americans.
Not at this moment.
So your parents are not Americans.
Not at this moment.
So hold
no,
on, your parents
they're
are not Americans.
citizens. They became naturalized.
You just said you can't be citizens by being naturalized.
No, I was born here, and I'm not opposed
Yeah.
to naturalization.
Yeah.
ever
The ultimate true Scotsman. The ultimate true Scotsman. When they sit there and go, when you want rights to abortion, that's anti-American because Americans don't want abortion. Americans don't want to see trans people survive. Americans, that's right. And then you sit there and you go, wait a minute, more than half the country disagrees with you. You know what I mean? So what are you talking about? It's because of it's the ultimate no true Scotsman fallacy. If you don't agree with me, you're not American, clearly. So 100% of Americans are pro birth, right? Pro life. 100% of Americans are pro life. 100% of Americans are against the trans agenda and the gay agenda and whatever else. 100% of Americans are, because if you're not, you're not a real American.
that I'm against
Are
naturalization.
you against naturalization?
No, I never said I was against
You did.
naturalization.
You began. Everyone was here. They can play it back on YouTube. You said Americans or immigrants. Are your parents Americans or immigrants?
No, my parents are United States citizens.
But they're immigrants, you said.
No, they came here as immigrants. However, but
So they
I
are
want to make the
immigrants.
claim that we cannot
I came here as an immigrant. I'm
but
an immigrant.
at this point, when they came, the
I think
United
that
States
people aren't happy
economy,
with the way this is going for you.
the United States economy was not at.
It's better now. The American economy is better than it's been
Not
for
from
many
the-
years.
not from the
And I can.
I don't blame him, Lawson. I think at this point, when you're faced with the kind of people that are here, I think in the mode that he's in right now, because he's dealing with such decrepit, disgusting, rotten people, that I'm just gonna spend the rest of the time dunking on him and making him look fucking stupid. I think that's his main deal. You know, not trying to like open their eyes or anything, because these people are gone. They're gone. They're far gone.
Say that as someone who doesn't like Donald Trump.
We're
Which
giving
statistics are you
millions and
seeing?
billions of dollars
Which
to
statistics
people
are you
of
seeing?
minorities as well as
The reason the
Not
economy's doing badly now is
exist.
Donald
Exist. What's the trans agenda? To continue existing. Nah. Can't do it. Sorry. Wish I could, but I'm a real American. Jesus Christ.
Tariff policy.
We can't
Nothing
even
to
get
do with migrants.
businesses.
In fact, the
They can't
congressional.
even start businesses.
I'm an immigrant. I started a business. In
No,
fact,
I understand because the SBA
immigrants
is
are-
giving people
immigrants-
billions
I
of
didn't take any
loans.
loans
They're giving
from
them
SBA.
billions.
I didn't take any loans
I'm not
from
saying you
SBA.
did, but I'm
Okay,
saying
well, I'm
that
saying I did.
statistically speaking, they're giving billions of
So
loans
should we
to
do
these people.
statistics? According to statistics, immigrants are 80% more likely to be entrepreneurs than native-born Americans.
Sure,
and more likely
absolutely.
to start
No, I'm
businesses
aware of
and
that.
hire Americans.
No, I'm aware of
right?
that,
Immigrants
but
are
we
more
also-
likely to pay in taxes than
Yeah.
take out in benefits.
And
They're more likely to add to innovation and jobs and wages. This is what the statistics show.
Yeah.
The Congressional
I
Budget Office.
understand- I
Let me just finish my
understand
point and then let you come back
Okay,
in.
go
The
ahead.
Congressional Budget Office, which is bipartisan, Republicans and Democrats both use it. They have said that the immigration surge that you mentioned will lead to an extra $9 trillion of GDP over the next 10 years. That amounts to $65,000 per American household. That's $65,000 for each and every one of you holding up a red flag.
Okay, I understand that, but
See what I'm saying? See how I did that? He sits there with the bomb, right? The mic drop, knowing that the flags are about filled. And he's like, boom. Mic drop. You don't get to respond. Get the fuck off the table. Agreed.
Pause. You've been voted out by the majority. Please return to your
Nice
seat.
to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Thank you.
Here's a stupid question. And I'm sorry if you don't feel like answering, then totally valid. Questions like this, as a non-binary person, like which bathroom would you feel more comfortable using? Is it the women's bathroom because men are dangerous, which is valid? Neither. Unisex. You want unisex, right? But which one would get you catching charges? I guess I should say. Who's this one? Who's this one? Nah, he's boring.
Hey, how's it going? I'm Mehdi.
What's going on, man? Nice to meet you.
Think.
All right, so first
Oh yeah, there's
me my good.
Here's
Yeah,
Mo.
everyone here, unless you're Native American,
All right,
is a descendant of
pause.
immigrants.
Sorry, you've been voted out. Please return to your seat.
Thank you, man.
Nice to meet you.
Those are my favorite, actually. It's you know what it's kind of like. It's kind of like you know that thing where, increasing accessibility for people with disabilities increases accessibility and convenience for everyone, right? Like disability laws are what force cities to put those dips in the curb, right? But now we can have strollers and shit like that for us. But it was for disability. That's how I feel for like the unisex bathroom. I'm like, look, everybody just wants their own little room, okay? So just get a unisex bathroom, put the toilet in a private room, and we'll all be happier anyway. I just hold it in and yeah, 100%. I'm the same way, but not because of danger, obviously, but because of social anxiety. I just rather not. I go with the one matching my cooter. It's factory original. Oh shit, that's fucking funny.
How's it going?
Hey, how's it going?
Actually, a fan. I see you a lot on Piers Morgan.
Okay, thank you for watching.
Yeah. So, my argument is that
This is Mo from the Sam Cedar deal too, looking much more like Mo than here, but he's still doing the chin strap thing.
Americans are what is a nation? A nation is a geographical location full of people who have some things in common. So I think some of the things typically in history are going to be like race, religion, ethnicity, language. These are some of the things that we have to have in common in order to actually have a functioning civilization, especially in self-government. I'm not necessarily a giant fan of self-government. I'm a Catholic nationalist. I'm not a fascist. You have to have at least some things in common in order to actually have a...
That's a weird edit. That's a weird fucking edit, and I want to know what was in between that. Like, watch when he says, "I'm not a fascist." He looks off to the side, then it cuts to the rest of his sentence. Like, what did you say?
Like nationalist, I'm not a fascist. You have to have at least some things in common in order to actually have a civilization. And the immigrants, especially illegal immigrants, like
Mose, yeah, Dwight's cousin. You get it.
coming to this country now, disrespect us. They hate everything that we believe. They don't even speak our language. I watched after Trump got elected, I watched an interview of an illegal alien woman crying and about getting deported, and the entire interview was in Spanish. That is a spit in the face. It's disrespect. They don't care about us. They abuse our system.
So you've gone from a teleological argument into just a bunch of series of wild, unsubstantiated
I'm asking
claims.
you, what is
I don't accept any of those claims that they hate everything we stand for, and I don't accept. Well, I'm not going to deal with the teleology. I'm going to deal with the false claims that you made. There's no what's your basis for saying that all immigrants or all undocumented immigrants hate everything we stand for? It's funny that you said you're a Catholic nationalist. How did most Catholics get to America? Irish Catholics, Italian Catholics. Immigration. Much of the people coming across the southern border are Catholics.
Yeah, I know. I don't.
So it's really funny that you say you're a Catholic nationalist, but Catholics came to America via immigration.
Yeah. So there's
what a really fucking good point that I cannot believe I didn't think of until just now. I never really thought about that. That is fucking. Most Latin Americans are fucking Catholic. So what happened? Where are all the Christo fascists that want their? And let me tell you all something. I've said this before, and I don't think I've said it in a while, but if Republicans could figure out how to not prioritize white supremacy, they would have every election under wrap. Because they're super, especially the older crowd, right? Gen X and older, they are very conservative and conservative in the religious sense, right? Because they're very Catholic. Yeah, but what happened? These dudes that are all about being Catholic and don't want the Catholics to come up. Maybe it's not about Catholicism. Maybe it's the color of your skin.
Immigration is good for America. You and I can agree. Otherwise, people of your faith wouldn't be here.
No. We were here on this side of the world, in this continent, from conquest. We came over here, and
but the big surges of numbers, as you well know, because you're a smart guy, Italian, Irish immigration waves, Catholic immigration waves.
Okay, yeah, and I'm not even
Are you
claiming.
against those?
I'm not even
Were
claiming.
you against those if you were alive
I'm
then?
not even claiming that
'Cause
immigration
a lot of people were
is bad.
against those.
I'm not claiming immigration is bad in all cases at all times.
What is your claim?
My claim is that immigration, especially now, and especially
Is bad when it's brown people. Come on, keep up, Mehdi. Come on, Mehdi. Don't ask silly questions.
especially for foreign people that have nothing in common with us.
It's funny that you say it's
is a
especially
negative
now.
thing.
I've forgotten
Yeah.
your name. My apologies.
Brian.
Brian.
Mose.
In every era, there has been a Brian who says, "I'm not against immigration, just immigration now."
Okay.
This is what people said about Italians. It's what people said
That's
about Irish folks.
unfortunate, sorry.
Said about Russians, Poles, and now we're saying about
why
people
should I
coming across
care
the
about
southern
that?
border. Because you're not being, you're
Why
being a
are-
little disingenuous saying
Okay.
I'm only against immigrants now. This is a trope.
that
This
disingenuous?
is because it's a trope that's been used by nativists throughout American history.
No.
And every wave of immigrants has come in and faced the same hate and animus and bigotry and lazy tropes. And every wave of immigration has ultimately
Well, I think-
assimilated, integrated,
Here,
benefited the
let me
country. In
make
fact, assimilation right now, according to Jacob Victor from the University of Washington, assimilation rates based on language and citizenship and naturalization are higher now than 100 years ago.
Okay, let me make a statement first. I think that you in
You
your own
ignored my statement, but okay.
you in your own person are a complete perfect example of why immigration is negative and why we shouldn't allow people
Wow.
who
Why?
don't have anything in
Why?
common with us. You're pro-abortion, you're pro-euthanasia, you're pro.
I'm
you're
pro-youth.
There it is.
Euthanasia. I thought
Yeah, you went. I've seen your stuff. You've defended euthanasia.
pro-euthanasia.
Yeah, on Piers Morgan.
No, I've never discussed euthanasia with Piers Morgan in my life.
Okay, so my point is that you don't agree
Actually,
with
I'm
the
the guy
founders
here.
of this country.
If anyone watching at home, I'm the only guy here who actually supports American values, democracy, free speech, the Constitution. I've
Yeah.
got folks here telling me they don't believe in democracy, that they're nationalists.
Wait, why should we care about that? By the way,
Isn't that what America stands for? What does America stand for? So you hate what America stands for, not
No,
me.
I'm not even
And in
saying-
fact, all the studies show that immigrants actually are more patriotic
So the only reason,
than native-born Americans.
the only reason why, that's the Mexicans in LA right now burning it down, waving Mexican flags.
LA's being burned down?
Please don't send us back to the country that we're waving the flag of.
I've been in LA for a few days. I didn't see anything burned down.
Yeah, I know the
Where?
riots have ended. That's because Trump sent.
But if
in
it's
the
burned down,
military.
where's it all burned down? I haven't seen
They
it. I've
firebombed
traveled around all of
cars.
LA.
They
You said
firebombed
LA was
Wamos.
burned down. LA
Yeah,
is
it's a
500
figure
square
of
miles.
speech.
It's
Yeah,
not a figure
I'm
of speech, actually.
yeah,
It's
I'm
another
saying
false
that they're
claim of yours.
burning. No, they're burning
I support
buildings.
euthanasia. LA's burned to the ground.
Bro, just
Immigrants
listen,
hate what we stand
relax.
for.
Okay, so
I'm super
so
relaxed.
you're pro-abortion.
But you're just saying one false thing after another.
So you're pro-abortion.
And I'm
right?
standing by my position.
You're-
Immigrants are good
You're
for me.
pro-abortion. You're an immigrant.
I'm
Where's
pro
a-
Roe v. Wade.
Yeah,
Personally, I'm not pro-abortion. If you knew anything about me, you know.
Roe v. Wade is.
All right, pause. You've been voted out.
I was going to say nice to meet you, Brian, but I guess not. You made it.
Nah,
Great to see
we
you.
want to
My
see.
name is Cyrus.
Nice to meet you, Cyrus.
I am also.
We
son
need
of
the.
two
We need this.
immigrants
Oh,
illegally. I'm also
Nazi
Persian
Barbie.
I'm an American. To go back to the core of this show, I support American. I'm an American. I'm an American.
I agree.
Good. I think Donald Trump
Oh.
is definitely someone who's got financial interests in ethnic cleansing. He's got political interests. He loves the evangelical voters he get. A lot of Christian evangelicals like to support Israel because they think Jesus will come back if all the Jews are gathered in one place with no Palestinians. Nice to meet you.
You too. So
There we
why do you say this is Donald Trump's plan? Why do you think that?
I mean, he says it's his plan. Have you seen?
Okay, so they changed it. So it's Donald Trump's plan for Gaza's ethnic cleansing. This is Nazi Barbie, who was also on debated Sam Cedar, and apparently Jubilee fucking loves bringing Nazis on. Like, because you would think that maybe you get some like normal Republican moderates. Like maybe you could weed for like far right fascist Nazis. And then people might not have such a big problem with your channel and this platform.
Seen his plan?
When
Have you
did
heard
he
his plan?
say it?
He said it standing next to Benjamin Netanyahu in January, February. He said it on Fox News in an interview on Fox. He said it on Air Force One when he was chatting to reporters.
Yeah, no shit. Yeah.
Word was an example of what he said.
Word for
Yeah.
word, he said, for example, we're going to clean
Like
out.
she's a worse Lauren Southern. I would say Lauren Southern's bad, and somehow this one is worse.
Out the Gaza Strip. He said they're going to leave. We're going to take control of it. He says, we'll own it. I would own it. He says, I'm not sure under international law how he can own a foreign piece of land. And when he was asked on Fox News, the people, the Palestinians who are being forced to leave, would they be able to come back? He said, No, they wouldn't. That is the literal definition of ethnic
Yeah,
cleansing.
what's wrong with
according
that?
to UN
Why do you
definition.
think that Trump is saying this? Do you think that he has some personal interest in cleansing?
That is first of all, a horrible dye job. Like that is so bad. And then two, she notice how she moves off of that it's not ethnic cleansing to, well, why do you think he wants to do that? I mean, he actually has a good reason to do ethnic cleansing. No, I'm pretty sure. I'm like 90% sure this is not Lauren Southern. This is a different Nazi Barbie.
Gaza, or do you think there might be some special interest group or perhaps religious or ethnic group that's, that maybe he received money from them?
Like it's completely fried underneath. Like it's so dry and fried up that it doesn't even want to lay down. Like if she wasn't such a bad person, I'd feel bad for her because somebody fucked her hair up.
Reason why he wants to cleanse Gaza, or why do you think that is?
I don't do Donald Trump's motivations. I really don't care. My claim is that what he's doing is ethnic cleansing.
Well,
do you agree with that?
I would actually, probably agree, but I'm just...
You agree that it's ethnic cleansing? You agree with doing ethnic cleansing?
No, I don't agree with it, but I agree that's probably his plan. But I'm trying to figure out, why do you think that is? Because Donald Trump's a white man. He identifies as Christian. I'm not sure if he really is. But what interest does he have in preserving a Jewish ethno-state? Why would he have that?
It's a good question. You'd have to ask Donald Trump that question. I've got multiple views. I'm sure you have many views. I'm not sure I like where you're going with your views, but I think Donald Trump is... She's
a Nazi. She doesn't agree with the fact that we help Israel. And this is why I need people to stop fucking sharing. Stop sharing when bad people make apparently good points about Palestine and Israel being a piece of shit. Because there are people who don't want to support Israel because they're Nazis and they are equating Zionism with Judaism. That's the point. That's why they hate them. She doesn't like what's happening in Israel either because she hates Jews.
Is definitely someone who's got financial interests in ethnic cleansing. He's got political interests. He loves the evangelical voters he get. A lot of Christian evangelicals like to support Israel because they think Jesus will come back if all the Jews are gathered in one place with no Palestinians. I think he's going to make money, he thinks, from beachfront property with Jared Kushner. He said something similar in the past.
You think that's the real reason?
I think there's multiple reasons, yeah. I think financial, geopolitical, ideological, evangelical. I don't really care. My claim is that what he's doing is ethnic cleansing. Ethnic cleansing is a war crime according to the Fourth Geneva Convention.
Yeah, I agree.
It's against international law under the Rome Statute. So we shouldn't be part of that. The United States should not be supporting Donald Trump's plan.
I agree. What do you think should be done instead with the Israel-Gaza situation? I'm not sure what your stance is on this.
I would like to see a ceasefire in Gaza.
Two-state
I would like to see. I don't really get into debates about what solutions. I would like to see an end to the killing. I would like to see Gazans have freedom. I would like to see the Palestinians in Gaza somehow get their land back. 80% of Gaza right now is under Israeli military control or displacement. I would like to see freedom for the Palestinian people. I'm an American. To go back to the core of this show, I support American values. One person, one vote. Free speech.
It really is a religious and ethnic battle.
It is not a religious battle.
Well, yes.
No, it's not.
That is what it's obviously between Jews and Muslims. Both want control of the Holy Land.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
What else? What other?
Actually, the founders of Israel were secular. They were not religious, actually. And I think some religious Jews, like Bezalel Smotrich, who's the Israeli government minister,
it doesn't really matter.
is a religious fanatic.
My point is,
the core of the conflict is over land. It's colonial.
There it is.
It's historic.
That's the only answer. And I could give a fuck less what anybody's position is with regard to whether or not that's possible. That's the only right answer. And if it's not possible, it's because of Israel. That's why. So if anybody needs to fucking go, it's Israel and Zionists that live there.
It is not about religion.
Colonialism is for a reason.
The people who want to steal the land want everyone to believe it's religious.
My point is, why are we sitting here? Why are we sitting here? It's like a false dichotomy where we have to argue, do Jews get Israel? Do Muslims get Israel? Why are we?
I've never brought up anyone's religion.
How many of us?
I didn't bring up anyone's religion.
How many of us here are Christians?
I didn't bring up anyone's religion.
Trying to pick sides between Jews and Muslims taking over Israel. Don't you think that?
Hold on. First of all, I didn't bring up religion. Second of all, you know that a lot of Palestinians are Christian, right?
Some of them.
You're just reducing it to Muslim versus Jew.
Well, it's majority Muslim. Yeah, it's very.
But there are many prominent Palestinians.
I agree. Yeah, but there's not that many.
So it's not worth reducing everything to religion.
Well, it is the reason. Why do you think Iran is?
It's not enough to give a care. You have to be.
Back the terrorism in Gaza. It's obvious.
And they're and even the ones that would be technically white, they speak a funny language, and I don't consider them white. They're not enough to care about.
Because they want to Muslim control of the land. You don't think that's why?
No, I don't think it's about religion.
Is it?
I've been following this conflict for decades. It's not about religion. People who say it's about religion, it's a distraction.
Well, it's a big part of it, I think.
I think it's become a big part of it. It's been weaponized by bad faith actors, sure. But I don't think that's the core. The core is that one group of people are dominating another group of people.
What group of
it is
people
apartheid.
is it? But what group of people is dominating another group of people?
One ethnic group is dominating another ethnic group.
What ethnic group?
Jewish people.
Yes, dominating.
Arabs.
Yes.
But I didn't say anything about Christian, Muslim, Jew in a religious sense.
Okay,
Jews defined as religion and ethnicity. You know that, right?
Well, why do you think that Muslims want control of the Holy Land?
You keep saying Muslims. I didn't bring up Muslims.
Well, they're Muslim states. Like, what do you think? Like Iran wants to do with
I didn't
the
bring
Holy
up Iran.
Land? But that's part of the conversation. What do you mean?
No, it's not. The conversation is Donald Trump is doing ethnic cleansing, and you agree with me. So I'm not sure why you're still here, to be honest.
It's part of the larger context.
It's a weird
of the
debate when you actually agree with me.
What I was trying to say is we kind of have this false dichotomy here where we're trying to take.
Hello, sir. Welcome back.
All right, she's gonna talk about. She's gonna get around to the point where I don't think we should be involved at all. Mehdi Hasan's going to go, okay, so we both agree that we shouldn't be sending money and weapons to Israel. She's going to say yes. And then he's going to go, okay, then we both agree. And then she's going to get voted off. She doesn't want to send weapons and money to Israel because she hates Jews. Totally different thing. Jewish and Palestinians both carry Canaanite DNA. Yeah, it's if the religious discussion is a red herring, the genetics discussion is an even bigger one. I never get. I try not to get. I won't say never. I try not to get into it very much, but and the reason is it doesn't fucking matter to me because first of all, I'm a leftist and I don't think we should be keeping. I think we should have freedom of movement anyway. Many of the Jewish people escaping Europe absolutely were refugees. So why would my opinion be that they shouldn't be allowed into the Levant? Like, what? I sure as fuck, and I hope no leftist thinks that the only people allowed into the Levant is if you had the genetic right to. Like, that doesn't fucking make sense. The problem is the ethno-state that they created on top of a pre-existing people. The problem is not who has the most DNA where. The problem isn't who's really the true indigenous person. It's who is committing a genocide and who displaced a million people and who has an ethno-state right now. That's the only thing that fucking matters. I don't give a fuck what mythical storybook says about what kingdom was here 3,000 years ago. Don't care. I don't care about what Muhammad says. I don't care about what Moses says. I don't care about any of that shit. Who is committing a genocide? Who has established an ethno-state? It's Israel, and it's the Zionists.
Back.
This is the last dude. I find this guy interesting because. And you'll see why. He's a whole ass first generation Persian, an Iranian immigrant. And he's there with these people around him. Fucking great.
All right, so I agree that Trump wants to do a cleansing, but not an ethnic one, because that area requires a lot of cleansing. Because when you have a population that was taught from early...
I thought he said diarrhea. Did anybody else hear diarrhea? That area requires a lot of cleansing. Got it.
Childhood age to hate Jews, Christians, and pagans. You need some serious re-education.
Number one, that's not true. And number two, that's not what he's proposing.
Well, I mean, most Palestinians, by polling number, do support Hamas.
They support resisting Israel.
Well, I mean, the thing is, what did they do in the first place that they're in this, what you call open-air prison?
Great question. What did they do to deserve being occupied?
Well, here's the thing, because the Islamic Republic in Iran is using them as a tool.
What has Iran got to do with this?
As a tool for their Islamic expansion.
When did the Islamic...
Because they don't...
Hold on. When did the Islamic Republic of Iran... You're Iranian American,
yes.
I believe.
Yes, I am.
When was the Islamic Republic of Iran founded?
1979.
When was Gaza occupied by Israel?
The very
67.
first time. 67, yeah.
So, can we do the maths together? 12 years before the Islamic Republic of Iran existed, Israel was oppressing, occupying, dispossessing the people of Gaza. So your argument makes no sense.
Were there any terrorist organizations at the time?
The PLO was considered a terrorist organization by the entire Western world.
All right, so was Hamas there?
Hamas did not exist till the 1980s.
Exactly. My point is, after the Islamic Republic came, it became chaotic because the Islamic Republic started to use the so-called innocent Palestinians for their own
so-called innocent Palestinians? You don't think Palestinians are innocent?
Not all of them. Because
what about?
It's like his outfit and his presence matches his thought process. Like, you look like a comic book villain, a zoot-suited, ridiculous clown. Like, if I drew him to be a bad guy, people would go, "What are you doing, Robo? This isn't the 1960s." And it's like, "Oh, you're a clown. You're a Persian with an accent coming here to stand in line with other Nazis about why the conservative argument is best. You're a fucking idiot, and that's why you're dressed like the one."
17,000 children were killed.
They're doing the
17,000 children were killed. Were they not innocent? Were they not innocent?
Who's responsible for that?
Israel, who dropped the bombs on
Hamas
them.
is responsible. Hamas is responsible for hiding in hospitals and making tunnels underneath those hospitals.
So when children are shot in the head by Israeli snipers not responsible for that?
Look,
it's a simple question.
Here's the problem.
When Israeli snipers shoot Palestinian children in Gaza in the head, as eyewitness testimony and doctors' testimony proves, that's not the fault of the Israeli snipers.
This is the problem, because when you have
the problem is you won't answer the question. I'll ask you a third time. When Israeli snipers shoot Palestinian children in the head, is that not the fault of Israeli snipers?
I'm sorry.
Well, you gotta let me finish.
No, you gotta answer the question. Fourth time.
Well,
when Israeli snipers shoot Palestinian children in the head, we're running out of time. I need to know what you think about innocent children. Because what you said was pretty outrageous. You said so-called innocent Palestinians. For the fifth time, when Palestinian children are shot in the head by Israeli snipers, is that not the fault of Israeli snipers? What did they do? Tell me.
What did the children do to deserve being shot in the head by snipers, Mehdi Hasan? You can't answer the question because you were not prepared for the genius level intellect of the zoot-suited Zionist sitting before you, who also happens to be Iranian. What did the children do to deserve being sniped in the head, Mehdi Hasan? Stop being a coward. Stop running from the question.
Children deserve to be shot in the head.
Because the problem is,
over there, millions of people are watching you say
they start brainwashing children. They start brainwashing children at a very young age.
So you support sniping children in Gaza?
Look,
do other people here support sniping children in Gaza? Is that a conservative position now?
What if they're wearing a suicide vest?
They weren't.
But what if they are?
They're not, though.
What if
they
are?
I have friends who went, doctors went to Gaza, American doctors. They came back as we had multiple children.
What if they're
hell-bent?
What if they're hell-bent on killing you and your family?
A 10-year-old child, an 8-year-old child, a 6-year-old child.
Because
this is
like
bad
you said,
for you.
Like
You're
said,
sitting on
they're
live television where millions of people are going to see your neighbors, your friends. You support the killing of children.
Millions of people don't know what's going on.
Even your fellow right-wingers are saying, "Don't go this far." White genocide, sure, but don't advocate
millions of people
kids.
don't understand.
White genocide, yeah. I skipped around, and I was merciful and didn't have you guys sit through the numerous white genocide arguments that they were bringing up. They literally think that brown people are coming here in droves to replace white people.
Brainwashing that is going on in Islamic Republic and in Palestine to create
You're
this hatred.
obsessed with Iran so much that you're supporting the killing of Palestinian children who never harmed you or any other Israeli. That's insane.
Look.
And the fact that you support Trump's ethnic cleansing now doesn't surprise me.
I didn't say ethnic cleansing. I said cleansing of the land.
All right, pause.
Because you need to cleanse the land from all the tunnels.
Slobodan Milosevic said similar stuff.
You've been voted out.
Do you want to bet that he and Nazi Barbie secretly? I would bet nothing. I guarantee you, there's only one type of man that she's willing to sleep with. She seems like and I say that because I think she comes off as a true believer. She's a true believer. She would never let herself be defiled that way Oh Lord, yeah. All right, so that's the end of that one. That's fucking crazy. And a lot of people are saying about this, and I've seen a couple takes, I've seen a couple shorts on it, and some TikToks. This is depressing, you know. So I know some of you all said it in chat, like this is depressing to watch. These are the youth, right? These are our next leaders. Obviously, maybe not in that room exactly, but if y'all think that that is just those 20 people and this is some unique view, no, this is a big, this is just fucking take a peek in Twitter. This is where those people love. That Twitter is the new haven for all those white supremacists. And it's rough. It's rough. Nazi Barbie is waiting for the trad husband who will give her like 10 kids to raise. So I say Nazi Barbie is a true believer. But this is where the trad wives end up falling apart, because she wants to be an influencer. She wants to go out and do her things, and she doesn't realize that the real trad husbands are not going to let her do that shit. Fucking idiot. People like this love voting against their own interests. Man. All right. I need everybody to check out. You know what we're going to talk about on Friday? We're going to talk about AOC. That's what we're going to talk about. I was elected as a delegate of my local chapter to head out to Chicago. I'll be in Chicago this summer. This summer. It is summer. It was 99 degrees today in Savannah, Georgia. This is summer. Next month in August, I am headed to Chicago for the 2025 DSA National Convention. And there's a lot of things up for vote. There's a lot of debate happening there. And me and two other people from the chapter are headed out that way. And one of the resolutions that are up, matter of fact, I think I have it. One of the resolutions is to censor AOC, because as you know, AOC is a DSA member. She has since lost her national endorsement by DSA. However, DSA New York City chapter continues to endorse her. And I think that is going to be on it too. It's going to be on the docket, because not only are they looking to censor her and kind of reaffirm the lack of endorsement, but also in the resolution is to review her membership. So she might actually get tossed out because of her positions. Literally, the only thing is her positions and where she has faltered on Israel. So I kind of want to talk about that on Friday. We're gonna go into some of the reasons, and I definitely censure. Yeah, right. I want to hear y'all's opinion about it. I definitely want to hear y'all's opinion about it. I know that there are people, and this is the thing. When I say that this is going to come up in the DSA National Convention, the DSA is not going to be like, hell yeah, and all 100% of us are just like, boom. Like this is a, remember what I said, the DSA New York City, they still endorse her. So all of those delegates, and I guarantee there's going to be like 100 delegates just from them alone. We are a very small chapter, so only 3 of us are going. But they're going to be against it. So this is going to be really, really interesting. And I definitely want to hear y'all's opinion on, especially if you consider yourself a leftist, right? If you consider yourself a leftist, I definitely want to hear you guys' opinion on AOC on Friday. And I definitely will make a very, very concerted effort to actually stream on Friday. With that said, ladies, gentlemen, and MBs, that is the show. I appreciate every one of y'all in Left Brigade for being here and supporting the stream. If you guys are into comic books, if you are out there lurking and you're brand new and you're into comic books and nerd shit, I do another stream on Thursdays over on the YouTube channel Blurred Without Fear with Ernie. The Blur Without Fear, and we do Nerds of Culture, and we talk about nerd shit from a progressive lefty sort of perspective. And then on Fridays, I've been missing most of my Fridays, but I'm gonna really try to make an extra effort to do that this time. She recently opposed the bill to stop funds to Israel. Yep, 100%. 100%. It was supposed to be 50 billion, or 50 million, or 50 billion, 50 million. I think it's 50 million. Less on the missile defense. And she's all about letting Israel be able to still defend itself, and like, no, that's not the way that works. So yeah, people are upset, but we'll talk about it more on Friday. I love you all. Be safe. Make sure to take care of yourself. Make sure to hydrate. Make sure to get your sleep. Take your meds. Be safe. And while you're out there trying to take care of other people, don't forget to take care of yourself. I love you all. I'll see you all on Thursday.